So, the new Powerpuff Girls are here, and it's, well, a lot of people didn't really seem to like it. It's kinda like how people didn't really like Teen Titans Go. The main reason why I brought this up is because Pan Pizza made a top 10 worst reboot countdowns, with the 2016 Powerpuff Girls as one of the entries. However, this caused Nero Q to do a a response video of the 2-minute segment of the Powerpuff Girls that you made. With all that being said, let's take a look.
Oh man. Okay, Rebel Taxi. Or is it Pan Pizza? What the heck? Look, someone needs to say something, and I really didn't want to be the one to do it, but I will. Your dislike for the new Powerpuff Girls show is alright, and I respect your opinion.
Okay. Well, looks like this commentary that I'm making is already...
At least that's what I wish I could say.
Fucking hell, I just wanted to play some goddamn deadcore already.
Sugar, spice, and oh, the reboot doesn't do that anymore.
What? You realize the intro on Cartoon Network is not the full intro, right? It does have that part.
Spice. And everything nice. These were the ingredients chosen to create the perfect little girl.
Allow me to bring in the 25-second version that Cartoon Network usually plays within their overall show. They didn't really bring that into the overall intro, especially for the fact that they usually play the 25-second version of it when the show airs on Cartoon Network. Yes, the 2-minute version does have that part, but even then, does anybody within the US really want to sit through a 2-minute version of the intro when it does air? The goal is to engage the audience and get hooked over something for a small time frame. Having 2 minutes as the intro would be a tad bit long, and some viewers might be turned off by that. Finally, I don't really want to bring in Pan Pizza's part 1 of this review of the new Powerpuff Girls into this and actually focus this video on its own merits, but he did complain about why this is somewhat of a problem. This is somewhat of a problem because the new audience wouldn't know that they were made by Sugar, Spice, Everything Nice, and Chemical X. They would just think, oh yeah, they fight crime while having superpowers in the curfew, but that'll just be it.
Powerpuff Girls 2016 at first feels like the old show, but you eventually realize they managed to screw up everything.
You haven't really watched the new Powerpuff Girls show, have you? And I mean really watched it. Take off those cheap nostalgia glasses and give it a fair chance.
And how about you take those modern goggles that you have off? I mean, dude, I can see you past that hood, and you seem to have those self-prescription goggles recently, huh? All joking aside, you're only using that argument just so that you can discredit everything that Pan Pizza had to say about the overall show because it's just nostalgia. I mean, it just kinda feels like as if this entire video that you've made is only because of the fact that it's new and not really on its own merit. This argument is also dumb because at times you don't really know what some of the people grew up with.
Of course it's not going to be like the original, but you know what? The original wasn't that great. It was a good show, and me and my friends loved growing up with it, but it still has its flaws. For one, the animation was good, and it had its own style, but this show's animation is 100 times better. The animation is fluent, and yes, I think it's a great improvement over Craig McCracken's style. And I don't just mean the original animation, I mean Craig McCracken, the creator style in general. I don't like his animation style that much, and if I had to choose between this and this,
wow, guess the party's over. Nice.
yeah, I choose the new style. And don't tell me you wouldn't.
I won. There, I've said it. You can't fade my onion farm now, you pleb! But seriously, I actually didn't really like the overall animation style that they had within the overall show. For starters, it just seems kinda bland. I mean, especially with the overall Flash animation that's going on now to date. The color choices seems a bit generic, and I felt like it had somewhat the same style slash movement as shows like Steven Universe, Clarence, and maybe We Bare Bears at times share some similar traits with the Powerpuff Girls reboot. Though, what am I doing? My point here is completely subjective. Though how you view the animation will be brought up later on within the video when I explain the whole subjectivity part on your end. What I can say, however, is that you basically used something from seasons 1 to 2 of the old show to back up your point when season 5 and 6 had, to me personally, much better animation style as it's a lot more fluid and smooth. That's kinda really not a good comparison to make, truth be told, as both of the art styles are a bit different from the later seasons to the earlier seasons.
She'll be there.
The main joke about Powerpuff Girls is that it's cutesy soft girls in a sharp pointy rough world full of threatening villains. But the reboot is cutesy soft girls in a cutesy soft world full of cutesy soft villains. Where's the contrast?
What the heck are you talking about? That wasn't the joke of the show or the idea of the show. You wanna know what that was?
So when you originally created the Powerpuff Girls, what did you have in mind for the show?
I just wanted to do a really cool superhero show, and I just thought drawing 3 little girls as superheroes was way more interesting than a big, strong, muscly guy. Because you've seen that muscly guy a million times and it doesn't mean anything, but these little girls seem new and fresh, and they just seemed a lot tougher because they were so cute.
That clip actually strengthened his point, really. Even if Craig mainly wanted to have the show with cutesy girls as being the main heroes, Craig actually kinda said what Pan Pizza mainly just said, as the concept was mainly about the cutesy girls being the overall heroes. Though there's also this part that you've stated at the very next point.
This new show still retains that, and the roundness of the characters, whether villain or not, adds to the new style of the show. That's not a minus, that's a plus.
But even then, while not outright stated, he either implied for the fact, or one can even argue for the fact that you can add in the cutesy girls as being the superheroes, but also use the other same formulas as having the world being tough and scary, with the villains also being tough and scary, and it could work. That worked here in the old show because you would see the girls struggle through the harsh surroundings of the world. If you compared it to the new show, yeah, they added something new by making everything cutesy, but that doesn't work here because the show made it so cutesy to the point where some of the overall context doesn't make it so drastic and quote-unquote realistic.
Remember all the violence in the old show? Well, they chose to rarely show the impacts anymore.
Pick one of us!
No, they chose to make it similar to the original. Because the creators of the show actually cared, and they wanted fans of the original to appreciate their attention to detail. They rarely even showed the context of the fists in the original show. And not to mention, did you just miss this scene?
Hey there, what you guys so upset about?
Yeah, no, both of the shows are not similar towards the overall action scenes. Your example of the newer show have an impact towards the violence is a lot more tamer than the ones from the older show. I mean, even your example of the older show had blood on it. Fucking blood. Hence what Pan Pizza was trying to say within his point.
We know your home skips, pick up the phone skips. We know your home skips, pick up the phone skips. Alright!
The show now has less crime fighting and instead has morals and bonding, character driving. Yeah.
Are you really complaining about that? Okay, where do I even begin? Oh, man. How can you complain about a show that teaches kids moral lessons and makes you feel good at the end of the episode? Short answer, you can't. Because making these characters human and giving them personalities beyond the original is a much needed improvement.
That is until if a show gets way too preachy with its morals to the point where it becomes annoying because of how terrible a story it could be. I mean, one example that I would have to bring up would have to be Horn Sweet Horn. In that episode, I'm not going to be touching about the whole transgender part, as honestly that really wasn't the concept of that show, but one of the morals that was within the episode, however, was don't rush into decisions. To explain more about this, I'll be bringing Doodletones' review of the episode as she explains this better, and you guys should check the review out, the link is in the description.
Using a horse that believed it was a unicorn being a metaphor for transgenderism is one thing, but using a unicorn who thought it was a horse who believed he at heart was a unicorn is something entirely different. Especially if you're gonna make your moral don't rush into things, which is a pretty big issue when you think about it. You kinda failed at your own moral trying to push an agenda and explore something like gender dysphoria. It kind of feels like you were doing it for the sake of doing it.
There are plenty of other episodes that could actually be the case, but often than not, that's actually one of the overall problems within the show.
Oh god, morals! What are you trying to teach?
It's amazing that the creators of the show even chose this route, especially with all the dumb pandering shows Cartoon Network has on now. Like Uncle Grandpa, Teen Titans Go, heck, even Gumball now just panders to kids.
I would like to contest you with the point about the amazing role of Gumball, possibly towards some of the other shows that you've mentioned, but mainly towards Gumball overall. Heaven forbid the show tried to appeal to a demographic other than your own. I mean, sure, there would be adults who would watch the show, but when it panders to children, then we need to stop and call the presses! Also, I would like to read a comment that you've made when someone actually did complain about Gumball being mentioned, since I have a feeling that if you're going to do a reply video to me, you'll bring this point up. The new episodes of Gumball are pandering. Nearly all of the new ones ends in the middle of a sudden situation, most likely to try and keep children's attention and literally end when an action is going on, but not in a good way. Sorry dude, but that's not pandering. According to WiseGeek, and I quote, pandering is the practice of adapting public statements and actions to fit the culture within a given group of persons. Essentially, pandering is intended to placate the individuals who make up the group and allow the speaker to make a connection with the group as a whole. If anything, your problem with the amazing role of Gumball isn't really because of it pandering, since they end in the middle of a sudden situation. I think your main issue with it is because of how it could be anticlimactic, though it really depends given on how it's performed, but I digress.
Not to mention, so you complain about Teen Titans Go when it's just a bunch of pointless filler nonsense trying to keep children's attention. But you also complain when a show actually has a point and a good lesson to teach? Are you ever satisfied?
You've misinterpreted the point again. He was saying that the show is way too preachy. He was not saying that he hated the morals overall. Please stop misinterpreting the point. You have given me cancer, AIDS, Ebola, and the secret virus all at once, you monster! Sorry. Though, can I ask you a question about the overall point about Teen Titans Go? Since when did he ever say that he complained about it being pointless filler nonsense trying to keep children's attention? I've asked this because based on his review of the show as well as the number 8 entry of the same countdown this is on, he never really complained about that aspect. Hell, he likes the show, but the only thing is that he doesn't even want it to be successful. Hell, he even find the humor of that show to be good. If you can provide me some proof as to where he stated that, then I can possibly retract this claim, but again, kinda confused here.
But it also has jokes you've already heard in other cartoons.
It's true. I was being
a horrible Buttzilla. Now say I'm a Buttzilla.
Your argument that it reuses others' jokes is that they use the word Buttzilla? You know that wasn't a joke for the audience to even laugh at, right? It was just for the characters, God.
First of all, why exactly is a joke in there if the writers know that you weren't meant to laugh at it? It just kinda seems lazy writing if you're not trying to entertain your audience. Secondly, the joke was supposed to be how Bubbles would try to fool someone to say Buttzilla because they were trying to hug it out. You did stated that the joke was supposed to be for the characters, but it really wasn't relevant to the episode's plot. So the only purpose it serves within the episode is a joke.
It's not like when something funny does happen in a cartoon, every character stops and laughs at that joke with the audience. No! They totally ignore a joke that we're supposed to laugh at, and it's the same the other way around. We're not supposed to laugh at a joke that the characters find funny. I mean, it's not like you laughed at Blossom in that episode where her hair was shaved. If you did, you're a horrible person.
Okay, to be fair, that was actually a little bit funny. Well, looks like I'm going to hell, aren't I? A joke can be used for both the characters and the audience. One thing that you failed to point out is the infectious nature of laughter. Having characters audibly laugh in the episode with no setup to establish that you shouldn't also be laughing encourages laughter.
I think we got some tough times ahead of us.
tough times.
Change spoken!
Aww, you're starting to learn about titles. Aren't you? Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Okay, but seriously, just because it had titles come up over the footage doesn't mean anything.
Okay, editing nitpick here, but Jesus Christ, was that explosion very sloppily edited. I mean, it just feels like as if you made the contrast to the green screen very high to the point where the explosion looked like some of it was taken out. And then we have some shitty see-through explosion. Besides, that's not an explosion. This is an explosion. And that's how you're supposed to do an explosion properly. I should become the Michael Bay of commentaries. Except my content is considered to be good by many. I was mainly just talking about the explosions.
Also, you've misinterpreted the point again. Sure, he didn't outright say it, but I think it would be pretty clear about how it's not the title that made it a ripoff. It was mainly how the title was executed. Both of them have the over-exaggerated narrator voices with the same timing and feeling of each other. Pan Pizza didn't really say it was a ripoff because it uses titles. He said it was a ripoff because they both have the exact same context.
And wasn't your argument that this was a joke stolen from another show? 1, it's not a joke. 2, it's done well, not too annoying, and it does help the episode. So why would that even matter?
So, your first argument. I personally disagree with you on that front because of how it was meant to engage the audience at random humor. Then your next argument is that it helps the episode. How exactly? You don't really explain on that front about how it's supposed to help the episode out at all. There, TVB, I finally used Steve from American Dad. Are you fucking happy now, you extremely nice person?
Excitement, excitement, excitement. Skate, skate. Buttercup, buttercup.
Running out of examples there, weren't you? So, a word echoes. That's your comparison from Pickle and Peanut to the new Powerpuff Girls? In that case, I'm surprised you didn't include...
Ricky Spell. No.
Or was that just too much work for you?
Hold up, my nostalgia senses are tingling. Oh, wait a minute, why am I using this avatar? Be gone, I say! Your only point here is to become a neglected avatar that I'll never use! Anyways, where was I? Oh yeah, that last clip that you've just used. I think that I remember that clip that you used from somewhere. I just can't really seem to put my finger on it. Oh my god, please don't tell me! That wasn't supposed to be a joke, you friend! And even then, the main reason why the other two wouldn't work as examples was because you didn't really understand what the joke was supposed to be about. The joke was about repeating something a couple of times in a whisper in order to make it more of an echoey feel to it. This is to make things more, quote-unquote, edgy.
There's episodes that are remakes of the original Powerpuff, like you can't help but compare and see how generic it is. Remember the one where Buttercup joins a gang? Well, the cool thing about the Green Gang in the original, as opposed to the new roller derby gang, is they didn't copy and paste the same character over.
You mean like Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup are pretty much copy and paste characters?
You know, I would just point to you the comment section of your videos. They actually seem to get the point across, but I might as well repeat their point for my viewers' sake. The main reason why Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup aren't clones physically is because of the different shapes that they have within their overall head. Blossom has the long hair going down her back while she's wearing a bow on her head. Bubbles has ponytails, and Buttercup has I don't know, something that looks spiky, fangs, maybe? So if you make a silhouette towards the girls, then you can obviously tell them apart. And of course, the same thing can be said towards the new show with those main characters. Even then, thinking about this logically, they are technically triplets, so of course they would at least look somewhat similar to each other. However, when it comes towards the roller derby game, the silhouettes of their bodies are identical, meaning you cannot tell who's who besides maybe the leader. Some might say that's lazy writing / animating right there. Oh, and before you argue for the fact that they were also sisters, that wasn't really established within the overall episodes when they did show up.
Your argument is that this is a ripoff of the Gangrene episode from the original, and yet this episode features Princess, a giant bug monster, and roller derby. But no, it's a ripoff because Buttercup isn't hanging out with the girls. That's really where your comparison would end. The roller girls aren't even bad guys. They didn't even threaten Buttercup or even pick a fight with her. Heck, in the end, they helped free Blossom and Bubbles from a trap set by Princess. They're good guys.
You see, the Derbitons, we protect our sisters, and that includes sisters of sisters.
Why are you so set on assuming they're just copy and paste villains when you're obviously not even paying attention?
The villain can be different and still be used for the same plot. The plot is that Buttercup hangs out with the gang instead of the girls, which is very similar to the original episode's plot, but told with different characters. And the roller derby girls do stand in Buttercup's way when she tries to go help, thus putting them in the same role.
Remember 2 weeks ago when I made that Mojo meme generator?
The entire art style, as well as the show itself, ranges from meh to insulting.
No, it's not. The art is creative and vibrant. It's soft and wonderful. This world feels large, especially to the Powerpuff Girls. You can pick apart the design as much as you want, but not all of us agree with you. It takes the original style, updates and improves it while adding a little something of its own. Look at Townsville. It actually feels like a city. It feels like hundreds of people live here, as opposed to that misshapen building blocks of the original.
You actually want to know what I've noticed not only in this point, but also within the other time where he mentioned the art style / animation? It just feels like as if he came off as rather something that's kind of objective. Especially with how you said things like,
and don't tell me you would.
As not everyone is going to have the same opinions of the overall art and animation style. This is also prevalent with how you treat Pan's point as something objective when it's not. Honestly, that's not how critiquing works. You don't force your set opinions down towards someone's throat to the point where you face life in prison for choking the guy. Yes, you're supposed to articulate your point in an intelligent manner and show why you think the way you do in a way that makes sense to the general public, but opinions do play a heavy role within reviewing / critiquing the set piece. And the fact that you're dismissing Pants' opinion within this video like this, calling him a nostalgia tard, and something else later on within the video is kinda saddening. And a bit funny, actually. Hold up, let me grab them Keemstar popcorn. This might actually be entertaining as shit right here.
It's not bad because it's different. It's bad because it tries to recreate the old show and does average, while anything new it does falls flat. Like Shaolin Chronicles, everything done here could have been done better in the old show. Everything done here could have been done better in the old show. Could have been done better in the old show. Could have been done better in the old show. Could have been done better in the old show.
Always deserved this.
This is going to be good.
Can I take her out now? Let's do this. Hey, meatheads! Rhino kebab! Time to heat things up. Flamethrower! This is totally gonna suck. For you. That was awesome! Yay!
Yeah, I believe those examples both countered and annihilated your claim, Mr. Taxi.
Way to fucking drag out your fucking point with not only repeating Pan Pizza's clip multiple times, but also providing like 3 examples, one of which was about like 30 seconds, mind you, when you could have just explained in a sentence or two to explain your point. If this was about the overall animation to the new show being, well, new, and the old show being outdated, then way to drag out the video even more by repeating the point when you could have just skipped it. Is this the main reason why you only made this into a 17-minute-ish critique on something that was only 2 minutes worth? Bruh, don't do that shit again. Say it once, maybe twice if you need to, and then never repeat that shit again.
We know your home skips, pick up the phone skips. We know your home skips, pick up the phone skips. All right.
It's a reboot that can't stand separate.
You know what? Maybe I agree. It doesn't stand separate. It flies off and excels where the original couldn't.
But please don't tell me that you actually believe in that shit, huh? But please. Alright, fine. Looks like I'm just gonna slowly die in a corner now, especially with the overall fact that your statement doesn't really have any sort of substance whatsoever. Did I just use my actual face as an avatar? No. I am not going to be using my actual face nor my actual body for any of my future content, so I have no idea as to why I'm even... Really? Huh.
It has nothing unique to offer besides shoving in smartphones, twerking, and lingo that'll be outdated in a few years.
I guess you weren't paying attention when they were totally dismissing these ideas.
Can't what? Can't even what? Oh, like she literally can't even. Whatever.
You see, Buttercup didn't care about the phrase Blossom said, so the audience doesn't even have to.
Yeah. Well, my name is Blossom and I'm here to say no rapping.
See, even Bubbles didn't want to hear that rap, because even the writers knew it wasn't going to be very good.
Then explain to me as to why people are critiquing the show mainly for having those moments where they did place in some of the internet memes / pop culture references within the overall show.
Like the No Me Gusta face, or the twerking incident that killed millions.
Just because that they're not wanting to keep some of the parts in doesn't mean that they decided to try some of the other stuff out too.
OMG! Yes! You do it! No me gusta!
I agree. The show would have been better if they didn't include those references. It might make it seem a bit dated in the future.
Oh, so you meant for the fact that there's a few things that they could have cut it out. Oh, and silly me, here I thought I was actually doing my job right, but instead I have you stealing it. You took my jib!
They took your jab! We know your home skips, pick up the phone skips. We know your home skips, pick up the phone skips. Alright!
Shut up and stay away from this show, because you don't have to watch it by every little meaning of that phrase.
Oh my god, you actually did that. You actually used the don't like the show, don't watch it card, did you? Holy crap. This really discredits you as a critic. No, cut me off. I need air. Oh, sorry. That would have happened if I didn't cut myself off like that. There are so many problems within this argument, one of which is the fact that he's a critic and that it's his job, but you know what, screw it. I'm just gonna leave Pie Guy Rules' video about the whole don't watch argument being idiotic in the description. However, I want to bring in one point that Pie Guy made within that video because I think out of any of these, this one pretty much fits you the most.
I don't like this argument because you're effectively telling people to shut up. That is what it is. You are just saying, well, you don't like it, so stop having an opinion. As if only people who are fans are allowed to have their opinion heard. As if you have to be positive, and if you're negative, that's a bad thing.
Hell, the main reason why I've came up with that conclusion is because besides that one point about adding in culture references in the show, you're not really giving Pan Pizza a chance. Especially when not only does he wanted to make a video later about the issue, but the fact that you've constantly cut it into his overall argument to make this reply video longer than it needed to be.
It doesn't hurt anyone, and as far as I know, it's actually good for kids. So even if you were to argue that the reason you would watch it and bash it is because this is what Cartoon Network is showing kids these days, then that is totally invalid!
You do realize for the fact that he doesn't really review a show because it would quote-unquote ruin kids these days and actually review it on their own, right? Anyways, he basically explains why kids won't be ruined by the show, except for the fact that he doesn't like regular show. You freaking monster, I will suck your fucking soul out, you bitch! And then, this part.
Fatality.
Two issues here. One, Why all of a sudden did you make this one a CinemaSins style of outro by using the sins counter? Well, I'm not saying for the fact that you're ripping them off, but the fact that your video wasn't really in the style throughout your own video makes this whole sin counter kinda unneeded, truth be told. Finally, you're holding the scythe the wrong way, especially when you killed someone. This is how you're supposed to hold it.
Today's commentary is going to be on the following. So some guy by the name of Dane Tyler Plushies made a video about Mario being transported into the real world, and a guy by the name of Swag Muffin responded to that. Then a newbie by the name of Starhead made a commentary on that, and then finally Swag Muffin took Starhead's lunch money. Now, for a note throughout the entire commentary, and fun fact, some guy in the comment section called Swag Muffin Matthew, so I'm just going to assume that's his real name. Holy shit, it's like we're twinsies or something! My name is Matthew too!
Bitch, how dare you take my identity away from me?
Anyways, I'll be calling him Matthew throughout the rest of the entire commentary. If for some weird reason that I'm wrong, then I'm sorry in advance, but blame that one guy in the comment section. Otherwise, with all of that being said, let's take a look.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Swag Muffin here, and welcome back to another video. And today, we're doing a response video on a lovely channel known as Starhead, and I was casually just playing games, playing Overwatch on my computer, minding my own business, and from Dane Tyler Plushies himself, the person I made a video on that this guy responds to, he sends me this video link. I watch it for about 15 seconds, I'm like, oh boy, it's gonna be one of these kinds of videos, which I've only gotten one other response video similar to this, but the person who made it deleted their channel because it was really bad. But compared to this one, the other one I was going to do a rant on, but disappeared before I could download it myself. This one is 20 times better, which, for a channel with only 8 subs, it's really good. Which, props to you, man. Well done.
I'm already bored. You brought up the person who actually did a commentary on you, and then you did a complete side tangent about the other person who did a response on you, but that person took the video down, and then you've compared it towards Star. Okay, cool story, bro, but why bring up a pointless tangent about the other guy? Like, not to be a rude ass, Matthew, but that part about the dead ghost living in your closet who responded to you isn't needed, as it's just not really on the topic of the overall video, and it's just dragging the video out. And yeah, you can argue for the fact that it's somewhat relevant to the topic because that other person did a response to you, but he's dead. In a non-literal way. I can take the information out of this introduction and nothing important would be lost.
But there are some things that I do want to clear up because I don't think this guy really did much thinking and like the logic of what I said in the videos and used things I said or things I did in previous videos or in different clips out of context and ruined the whole point. So let's just get right into today's video. Before we jump into today's video, I would just like to mention that, like I said in the last one, I have a Discord.
Ew. Advertisements. Bitch, you be lying to me when you said let's get right into today's video. I'll be skipping over that, thank you very much, but keep that part in mind as it'll be important later on down the road. But before we do continue on,
keep your mouth away from the mic.
The way in which case they've been going back and forth, being close and far away from the mic is really distracting. Like, I know that Leafy is here does that too, but at least with him, he's trying to put, like, I don't know, emotions or other pizzazz into his work. You don't really do that, and when I've actually showed this to some of my other friends, they've also said that it was really distracting. Please stop that and think about your life choices.
This is a volcano!
Also, before I start the video, I feel as I should say this now rather than later, but Swag Muffin uses the word cringe a lot, which is his point for majority of the video, and he never elaborates on this point nor tells the content creator how he could improve. First thing I would like to mention in today's video, I do use the word cringe a lot. I do. I admit it. I use it a lot. But I use it in context. I use it for a reason, but I do overuse it.
I find this part funny. You say for the fact that you use the word a lot, but you've used it for context. Even if you were using it for context, which I'll be the judge of that, it doesn't deny for the fact that it would be annoying to hear the same word over and over again, like as if you were raping it. Also, I'd love for the fact that you say that you use the word a lot, but you don't even try to fix this. Like, Matthew, ask your parents for the thesaurus on Christmas. Your brain would thank you later if you look up different words other than cringe. Like stupid, dumb, idiot, idiotic, poorly made, embarrassing, awkward, dookie, crap, shit. By the way, how you interpreted cringe is completely subjective. Please stop shoving it down my throat.
Second, I do give criticism and how he can improve on his videos. Some of which are negative, others are a little bit more positive.
Your wording is dumb as a rock. Do you mean constructive and destructive criticism? For those unaware, destructive criticism is like taking pot shots at the person and making fun of their content, but they're not always bad advice. Calling it a negative criticism might imply to people that the criticism itself is bad. It would make a lot more sense for you to classify them as constructive and destructive instead of positive and negative criticisms.
But nonetheless, they're advice or constructive criticism, in my opinion. Which, if you don't agree with that, like I put in the disclaimer, which you called it lazy later in the video, I put opinions. I had my voice playing in the video, saying opinions mentioned. So again, if you can't handle that, leave. It's just simple logic right there.
Nah, that's dumb. This is dumb. You're dumb. You can't just say that people should leave if they have differing viewpoints or viewpoints that they can't handle. Because what if some of the overall criticisms that you gave off were idiotic or nitpicky or anything else along the lines like that? Are you going to say to him that he's not handling your video right? Because all I'm seeing is that he's trying to debunk the points being presented in your other video. Oh, and mind you, by the way, he's doing it in a calm manner. Also, you do realize that this point can be reflected back to you, right? I mean, Star here is making points against you in a calm manner, and here you go trying to debunk it as well, so couldn't one say that you're not respecting someone else's opinions, or really, viewpoints?
And for your information, Swag Muffin, constructive criticism means helping to improve, and calling a video cringe without telling the content creator what they could do differently is not constructive criticism, it's just being a jerk.
Do you even know what a rant video is? A rant video is where you absolutely take a shit on someone else's work because you don't like it, it's retarded, stupid, or absolutely illogical. That doesn't make any sense to anything at all. And that's basically what rant is, but to be fair, in your defense, I had to change the title, which by the time you saw it, I don't know when you saw it, but by the time you saw it, the title was changed, so that's your defense for that. But again, I mentioned that's a rant. Well, I don't mention it multiple times, but I mention it in my disclaimer and my, the intro. It's just simple logic, man. No words.
You do realize that you didn't even try to debunk Star's argument, right? All Star was saying was that just because it was cringe without actually providing examples of it's just you taking the lazy man's way out. And then you come in and say, you ever heard of a rant video? Which, by the way, you've originally read it, but I've changed it. So big question to you then. Do you even know of what debunking is?
Have been warned, so no crying in the comments.
So, I read that disclaimer, and all it did was make my brain hurt. So your disclaimer says that the video was meant for entertainment only. That's fine. But the title says that this is meant for constructive criticism, and even in your comment section, you say yourself that this is meant for constructive criticism. Then I take a look at some of the rant videos you've made, and they have the same disclaimer. Make different disclaimers for different types of videos, and you'll seem less lazy if you do that.
Yes, I am a lazy piece of shit, I admit that. I have said that in past videos, but to be fair, they are gone now because they were cringy, which most of my videos are. If you look at my playlists, it says shitty videos, all of them, or cringy videos, all of them, depending on what I put right now. Another thing I would like to mention, I have the same disclaimer for every video that I do rants on because it means the same thing. If I'm ranting on a person, I have nothing against them. If I'm ranting on a group of people, I have nothing against them. It's for entertainment, it's to entertain people, to inform people, to do all that. If I were to change it up on rant videos, it takes a pain in the ass to do because I use this website that is laggy and slow, and that doesn't work well. And the stuff, I could use subtitles in my editing software, but the thing is, they are so cringy, they are so default, they are so bad, so I don't use them. That's why I never change it. That's why, right there. But ranting on this comment right here, why am I ranting on this? However, this is going to be a long video, so sit tight and relax, because it's going to be a good one.
Why do I have a feeling for the fact that you're just trying to make excuses out of just simply making a different disclaimer? Seriously, you're making it out to be an extremely big deal when you could have said, this video is purely meant for criticism manners, and that you don't have to use a different website for it. Whatever website that is. I mean, what program do you have? It actually couldn't be that
cringy.
Also, you do realize that you could have called Star out by saying that it was originally a rant video and not a criticism video within this point here and not from the previous interjection. Because even though for the fact that I would have found that to be shady, at least you would have been technically right by saying that this was originally supposed to be a rant video. So Star's point would have been moot to begin with in the first place. Oh, by the way, this is a warning. There is some ear rape. I'll be giving you guys 3 seconds to turn your volumes down when I'm done talking because I'm not changing it from my end. Yes, this is somewhat important within the overall context of the ear rape. Alright, I'm playing the video now.
Well, that unnecessary ear rape just killed half my family.
Bitch, you ain't getting any kind of sympathy from me since in your video, you didn't warn people about it. You killed off my family too, you dingus Kong.
I'm sorry for your loss. Hope you get better.
Well, ain't you, Mr. Nicey Pig? Don't encourage him, you monster!
But besides the point, the ear rapes is there to make a dank meme. Cause he is in a Sonic costume, and I think he kinda meant to do that. It meant to be a dank meme, and the only way to make a dank meme is if it's ear raping Sonic. Just saying.
Congratulations! You've completely missed his point. Except for the fact that the ear rape is loud. Yeah, there's a way in which case that you can use ear rape and it doesn't have to actually damage the ears. Just make it distorted, but not too loud to the point where I have to call 911 for murdering a part of the US.
I understand you guys had a good day today.
Okay, since I've actually went towards Star here before, I might as well do it again. Although Matthew actually cut the other half out, Star made a skipping card that was around 10 seconds. Yeah, sorry for being a nitpicky douchebag, but please shorten it down for us next time. K, thanks. Actually, I'm somewhat shocked for the fact that you didn't bring that up for us, Matthew.
I have done my best to avoid him. And, well, not really avoid, like, in real life, but I mean, like, avoid ranting on him, because he has a gaming channel that I recently discovered by a lovely fellow that I happen to know, and of course, it's Minecraft gameplay, which I was like, do I really want to rant on this because it's Minecraft? I decided to go against it.
Okay, 3 things here. 1, you didn't want to comment on him because he has another channel for Minecraft gaming videos. Bro, fun-sized M&Ms make more sense than this statement. Please elaborate. 2, why are you mentioning his other channel when the video you're about to comment on isn't even on that channel? 3, all those
the reason why I
can
mentioned his Minecraft channel.
Oh my god, I have voices in my head now! Oh wait. It was just you not properly editing stuff now, huh? Matthew, did you even look back at your videos and actually thoroughly check them before you upload them? Because this mistake shouldn't even be there to begin with. That's just a rookie mistake when it comes towards doing commentaries like this. Like, what the heck? Well, because he made that, I might as well try to restate what he said word to word before cutting back to his video.
The reason why I've mentioned his Minecraft channel is because he's the same person. He's the same person who does that.
Besides the whole redundancy issue, we've now returned to your regularly scheduled programming.
But the difference is, I was gonna rant on it, but I didn't. I didn't rant on it. So that's the first thing.
Well, here's the thing. You've said, and most of which is in your own words, mind you, I have done my best to avoid him, and, well, not like avoid him in real life, but avoid ranting on him, because he has a gaming channel that I've recently discovered, ... Of course, it's Minecraft gameplay, in which then you've debated about ranting on him because it involves Minecraft, but you decided against it. Star here was getting on to you for why you've wanted to not rant about him because he made Minecraft videos. It shouldn't be rocket science here. I mean, you did rant about him once on February. Why not do it again? Yeah, he probably made a new channel and ditched the old one, but if for some weird reason that you've actually stumbled across his new channel before stumbling across his Minecraft channel, then that still doesn't really make sense not rant on his Minecraft channel when, sure, Minecraft is considered to be the joke in the internet now. You could have brought up new things into the discussion, such as the potential behavior that he does or the type of videos that he makes. And even then, you don't even explain to us as to why Minecraft is considered to be
bad.
Alright, post-production here, but before anybody says to me that I've just said a moment ago by saying that Minecraft is a joke in the internet and will try to refute what I've just said, not everyone knows what Minecraft is and or what's wrong with it, even with the 100 million plus sales of the game. And yes, I am also aware about the people who do know about the problems of the game, but don't really even care and make their own Minecraft channel / gameplay, or even follow them. Hell, I'm subscribed to a few of those already. That's not what the argument is about, since we're after the few who don't know what's wrong about it or what the game is. Case in point, you're still not telling us about what's wrong with the game, and thus not telling us as to why you're not doing a rant on his Minecraft channel if that's the main reason why. That still seems fishy to me. You smell like a fish to me. Are you sure for the fact that you're a Muffin, Matthew? Because that smell tells me otherwise.
Second, I did write a script. I did take bullet notes, but I don't have a lot of time to do retakes since it was kind of a long video. And also, I don't have a lot of time because, as I mentioned earlier, schoolwork, life, friends, family, all that shit, man, all that shit.
For those of you who don't know, since he made that rookie mistake, here's Star's third point.
3. All those pauses can easily be avoided by writing a script, or at least doing retakes. Hell, even bullet points would be better. Just do anything that will get rid of those pauses.
And in his defense, you do know that you could have also edited the pause out too, or at least make it seem like as if it sounds a bit more natural. I mean, he did also say to just do whatever to take the pauses out, so why couldn't that be an option? Alright, you actually wanted to rush your videos out instead of trying to have standards, and that you've also said before that you're a lazy piece of shit. Nice!
But I also have a life unlike you, you piece of cringe!
Sure, fine. But I'll elaborate my point a bit once we get to the end of your video.
Another reason why I mentioned his other channel is because I just wanted to get public information out there.
That still doesn't disprove him though. Okay, you wanted to give out public information, but that was useless public information because, sure, he's the same person, but this second channel has nothing to do with your overall video. Again, I would take the information out and nothing important would be lost of the topic of the video.
This is a volcano!
Besides the point, let's just get right into today's video. Before we get started with today's video, I just want to quickly mention that I have a Discord server, and if you guys want to just chill, hang out, talk, have a good time while doing it, or if I just live stream, you're welcome to join, you're welcome to tune in to the live stream.
Okay, why do you have to self-advertise now when you can easily do that at the end of the video? It just drags the video out and makes your viewers less interested.
The reason why I put that at the beginning of the video is because more people tend to watch the beginning of the video. And I also wanted to tell people I had a Discord server without having to make an update video. And because not a lot of people go on my Twitter, I had to also mention my Twitter so more people would know about it. That's why I put that there. More people watch at the beginning. By the end, and this goes for all videos, at the end, most people are either super entertained and want more, or they've died down and don't give a shit, which is usually how my videos go, which mine are pretty bad. They need major improvement, which I definitely promised during the summer, but still, I put it at the beginning so more people know.
First of all, remember when I said to you by saying, bitch, you be lying to me when we said let's get right into today's video? Well, I actually do have a point to expand on it. The way in which case that you've done it was just jarringly weird as you were explaining today's video within the introduction, and then stated that you have the Discord server / Twitter and took a bit of some time to say that. Honestly, if you really want to actually put that in the beginning, then do it after your shitty intro. Yeah. That generic store-bought piece of shit. But if I have to say anything, and this ties into my second point, don't. Just don't. Putting your Discord and Twitter in the beginning, I mean. For those of you who don't know, this is a part of a marketing term called a call to action, where its intent is to make an immediate response towards a product, or, in this case, a YouTube channel. The problem with this in the case of a YouTube video like this is that you're basically hoarding out your overall video by making the advertisements in the beginning of the video instead of at the end. In other words, what you should have done is to put them at the end so that those who are engaged to your work after watching watching them can follow you because they want to see more from you. Putting them at the beginning might make them discouraged to even follow you on Twitter or join your Discord server since they don't know who you are yet, and that might be a bad sign here.
Yahoo! I got an extra life.
Oh my god, the first 5 seconds of the video were cringy as hell. This is coming from the same guy whose video is now 3 minutes in and just now starting to do the commentary. And the whole reason for the 3 minutes to begin with is useless information and self-advertisement. My point, you're a hypocrite.
1. How am I a hypocrite? How am I a hypocrite? I don't see it. After like 5 minutes of mental thinking of how I could be a hypocrite, I don't see it. I have my videos go out for about 3 minutes because I want to inform people without making a whole nother video. That's why I did it. And another thing, how is that cringy waiting to 3 minutes? I don't get it.
To answer that second question, informing people with useless information with some pauses here and there. Look, I can even agree with you for the fact that I don't like Star's point within the video too. I don't necessarily think that Star was actually in the right by saying that you're a hypocrite because that doesn't really debunk anything. But if your intro is 3 minutes and has padding and filler in it, then you might want to improve on that. Hell, to make an example, that advertisement that you made about your criticism, your commentary on the entitled plushie was about a minute long. You could have cut that down to just about 10 seconds like with your commentary on Star here. Not like this crap. Oh, and by the way, I've checked. Star Times on Matthew's advertisement on the first degree was 1 minute and 39 seconds in, and the ending time was about 2 minutes and 37 seconds in. Congrats! You've just wasted a poor innocent child's life by a minute. Would you like a cookie?
For starters, it's so damn cringy. And second...
Oh wow, Star was right this whole entire time. You actually say that it was just cringy within your first point here and said nothing else without providing as to why you said that it was cringy. Well, I'm not calling you Matthew anymore. Your name would not be the Muffin who cries Cringe. Hey, have you met my buddy Levius here by any chance? He's the dying guy who has no chin.
Kinda in the wind, picks up on the mic. If you ever used a pop filter on the mic, if you do use that, then it must have just been windy that day. But otherwise, you probably want to get a pop filter for that. But while nitpicking is fine, it is only necessary if the nitpick will affect the overall video. And after I watched the video a couple times, that was the only scene where I heard wind in the background. So that nitpick wasn't necessary at all and shouldn't have been an interjection to begin with.
Fair point. However, I did say this because, as I put in the title, constructive criticism, if he has a pop filter, this could help him in the future in case windy days do occur. That's why I said that. Because you're thinking that I ignored my title and my lovely disclaimers. By doing that, you completely disregarded the titles and the disclaimers. The disclaimers were to let people know that my opinion is going to be said, and the title is there to show that I'm doing constructive criticism. I said that to help him out in the future. Whoa, mind blown right there.
Boy, are you just making excuses just so that you don't have to admit to be wrong, because I'm getting that 5 from you right now. It's okay. We've all made mistakes. All of us do. He didn't disregard your title and disclaimer because of how he said that the criticism that you gave to Dane was nitpicky. If he said for the fact that it was nitpicky, then your criticism/opinion should be moot to begin with. Like, seriously, you're making it out like as if you're trying to be in the 100% right within the commentary. Kindly stop that. And you want to know what the sad part here is? I actually do disagree with Star's point since I actually have heard wind from some of the other parts of the video. Such as the part where Mario is lying down on the ground being the dead frick, and then slowly getting up rising from the dead.
Oh, my head.
Or how about when Mario's crying like a frick?
I don't have any pasta. Oh, I'm a failure.
Or how about the other 3 times that I may or may not have heard wind within the background? You have a point being served in a platter, and yet you don't even try to prove that you're right here. Whoa, mind blown right there. Yeah, I'm taking the last thing that you said and using it against you. Got a problem with that? Then go ahead and call 1-800-KISS-MY-ASS.
Luigi, kick. But you almost interrupted my time of picking mushrooms. Sorry, Mario, but you know how much I love kicking Koopas.
Oh, okay. Well, there's Dane. I thought he was a camera guy, but anyway, I think these are recorded on separate days, and that's the difference between the audio quality. And I will be interrupting you there because... nobody cares! But all jokes aside, who cares if the scenes were recorded on different days? If anything, wouldn't it be better if they were recorded on different days, so then we would know that they aren't rushing the video along just to get it done? Again, another fair point, but also remember this. It'll look more accurate and realistic to, like, it being the same day. I get, like, how if you do it in multiple days, it'll seem better, but still, if you're gonna do it on 2 different days, then you might want to have it so the sky at least looks very similar. Like, so it isn't a foggy day or a gloomy day compared to a really bright day. That's just, again, that was my opinion on the video. But once again, you are complaining about it because you can't read the title. It's constructive criticism, buddy.
Oh my god, shut up with this point already! Also, just realizing this now, but didn't you say near the beginning about how this was supposed to be your rants video instead? And now, you're making it seem like as if you're defending the whole aspect of it being more of a criticism video? Bruh! I don't trust you with that shit anymore. This is getting way too confusing for me right now. In fact, speaking of which, why did you change it from a rants video to a criticism video? Did you actually made up your mind for the fact that calling it a rants video was dumb, or did you actually change that just so that you don't have to get any kind of flack from Dane Title Plushie's fanbase? Which, mind you, from his previous channel has only 14k subscribers. Again, this really doesn't add up for the overall fact that you've originally made this a rants video, but then you changed it to a criticism video. One more thing to bring up about the title/disclaimer, but if you're saying that he's disrespecting your opinions, then please kindly fuck off with that. You're using the opinion card to shield yourself from criticisms from others. I should know this because throughout the entire video, you're being defensive about some of the stuff that you do, which would then lead me to assume that you've only changed the video from a rant to a criticism because you do not want to get further flack from people. Matthew, Swag Muffin, the Muffin who cries cringe. You should know better. Just because someone is giving you criticism or debunking your points, that doesn't mean that they hate you. To even further prove this, sure, I've been acting like a dicky mean in this video, but I also don't hate you. I rarely hate the people that I actually cover. We're not haters, we're just trying to help you to improve. Oh, and to debunk your cloudy day theory here, look at this part here, and then look at this part here. Yeah, no, they actually have the same type of weather, partially cloudy with the same type of clouds up above. Oh wait, you were talking about this here, huh? Well, couldn't one argue for the fact that the camera couldn't focus well enough on the sky so that you get this white sky instead? I mean, it could happen. I should know. I'm a college student who's studying meteorology. You bore me again. I mean, that's great. Just pretty much not give any kind of update to your audience. I see nothing on Twitter, nothing in your comment section, and nothing on your discussion part of your channel. Nothing. And no, I don't want to join your Discord server. Actually give us updates to those who actually follow you. Now, let's assume for the fact that you did finish the second part, but you've published it after the 20th of May. Because I kinda want to go back to your hypothetical argument if you haven't a life. From what I've been able to see through your Twitter, you said on the 20th that you had a project to finish, which is on a Saturday, and you've pin tweeted stated that there would be uploads every Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. My only issue is that if you really wanted to upload quality content but also have the free time to do whatever you want, why not try to limit on how much you upload, like once per week or twice per week? That way you can actually focus more on getting content out in a timely manner while having all of the time in the world to do whatever else you really want to do. Oh, and if you're going to say to me for the fact that I have no life, I have a summer job that I'm doing. Your move. Anyways, that was pretty much the end of the video. Now, normally, it would be time for some final thoughts, but I need to make a last-minute disclaimer because I do feel like as if you're going to take this the wrong way. Matthew, before you either blame Dane Tyler Plushies or Starhead for telling me about you, don't. They haven't sent me to do a video on you. In fact, I don't personally know who Dane Tyler Plushies is, nor have I ever talked to him or even looked at his videos before all of this. And when I've showed to Scarhead the video that you've made on him, he didn't know that it existed beforehand. I'm telling you this because I found this on my own accord. So if you want to blame it on someone, blame it on me. But before you do, I have some interesting things to say with your video. It really feels like as if you're just trying to make excuses up for the sake of you being lazy with what you do as a hobby. Hell, you're even lazy as to just trying to debunk points because you either missed the overall points or that you didn't even try to correctly debunk it. And in all honesty, I get it. There are times where I don't really feel like as if I even want to be motivated with some of my projects. Hell, I even canceled a few of my projects before my hiatus because not only didn't I think that my arguments were valid at the time, but I just felt like being a lazy ass and not have the motivation to make a video at all. But if you're so pressured to make things in a timely manner, then just slow down. You don't have to push yourself into making so much more than you could have already handled. However, even though for the fact that I didn't really actually show this within the overall video, the thing that actually does piss me off the most is with you saying that you were trying to shield yourself from getting feedback from others when you've dished it out towards someone else. Like, I don't know as towards how you've actually going to react towards this video. I seriously don't. I'm just only hoping for the fact that you can prove me wrong and either ignore this or take what I have to say into consideration. Or you can go ahead and ignore me and try to make this some kind of drama bullshit.
Not in the mood to give an intro, so let's get started.
So you're not going to give us context of the video as to who you're doing the commentary on? Well, thanks for leaving your audience clueless. Now let's see as to how bad things will go from here. Okay. To be fair, I'm not entirely saying that you have to give us full context on your intro statement, but at least make an attempt to fill in your audience as to what the heck's going on. For example, I put in degree markers and explain who I'm covering on at the beginning to show the degree chain and to explain who's covering who. You never once actually did that to begin with. In fact, one might argue saying that after when you stated this, DiCaprio's commentary would be playing and that there could be another person that you're doing the commentary on instead of DiCaprio. Granted, this isn't the case and it seems like a nitpick to me, but at least try to make sure that you can inform your audience. Hell, just a little thing in the title in the parentheses that says DiCaprio DeLorean would help the audience out a little bit, especially for the fact that given that the title doesn't allude it to being DiCaprio, it could also lead to people thinking that you're covering Pie Guy before DiCaprio comes in, which could lead towards throwing your viewers off, which is not something in which case that you actually do.
Also, this may be a small point, but why use a background if you're not going to fucking bother to make the background full screen? It shows that you didn't care at all for the overall quality of your video. And in case you still don't get the idea, Stocky, quality does matter in a commentary. Just because you can make good points, implying you actually do, doesn't mean you should be lazy with the editing.
Hey guys, Pie Guy Rules here, and the very first thing I want to say is that I am not going to be speaking positively or negatively about the show itself in this video. If you would like to know my personal opinions on the show, I have other videos that go into detail about that.
I watched those videos for this one. Spoiler alert, he bitches at the episode for being too silly when the episode he reviewed in the video he showed was parroting the serious superhero films, not calling out critics.
No way it may be nitpicking, but was that really necessary?
So not only do you cut yourself off as usual, but you don't even elaborate on the question at hand. This is just completely vague because you're just going to leave us with, was that really necessary? Which, by the way, is completely downright stupid. Maybe if you elaborated, I could actually take you seriously.
Hell, to add on to Jacob's point, yeah, that actually was a nitpicky point, because even though it's not entirely necessary, it was quickened for the purpose of making the comment at the expense of Pie Guy Rules.
This video is about the culture surrounding Teen Titans Go, and not about the show itself. I wanted to make this video to explain to everybody why people are still talking about Teen Titans Go.
Because people can't let go of the fact the original show's over. Commentary over. Oh wait, I still got like 11 minutes left of this. Ugh.
Oh, well, if that's really true about the video that you're commentating on, then I'm really having trouble seeing why you'd make a 15-minute commentary on it.
You know, because she actually has other points to actually bring up besides the whole, because people are still commentating that they want their other shows back. An example would be a point that she'll interject next.
And to add on to MTR's point, it was a prank, bro.
And Stocky took the prank seriously to the point where he grabbed the taser and shocked DiCaprio. Well, there goes Stocky's humor. Guess we should have named this video Prank on Sexually Wrong in the Hood because someone got tased and another got arrested.
Well, yes, it might be wrong to try and do a one-to-one comparison of things that are of different genres or of different medias. It's not silly at all to at least compare little things.
Yeah, it is silly to compare little things. You'll come off as a nitpicky jerk who doesn't like anything because of a really little insignificant thing. Game dude. That is all.
Yeah, because referencing older YouTubers that haven't even been relevant as years is cool, right? Yeah, no thanks. Like, just stop.
Get your fucking impact text means out of here before I lose my shit!
Jacob, you should calm down. I think you need to count to 10.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G!
Close enough.
After all, why would they use the same characters that have existed in other things if they weren't going to at least have a few things in common? What's the point in using a character's name and design and not having them share anything else with the character?
Ever heard of alternate universes, friends? You need to read Marvel's What If comics, which explore the possibilities of one of their characters doing something different and changing the story to be unlike the original character, or stories or episodes where the character is in another world or theme. Hey, this is relating to a comic book based show, so why not use real comic book logic and arguments to back up my points?
Oh, and how does that really prove him wrong? I fail to see how that even does, because it still doesn't change the fact that the characters are very out of character to the point where they might as well just be completely different characters. And last I checked, there's a difference between a character just being put into a different scenario than just being completely out of character.
Thing is, Teen Titans Go has been announced by the creators of the show that the show takes place in a completely alternate universe. So of fucking course the characters are going to be out of character, because they were never meant to be like the characters from the original show to begin with. I don't know why people don't seem to get that a spin-off will have different character personalities and an overall different theme to it.
Oh, what you just did was to reiterate what Pie Guy Rule said, except worse. On top of that, to really go back towards your point and Pie Guy's point, Beast Boy and Cyborg are bro dudes, Raven's emo,
I like tacos,
Starfire's excitable, and Robin is the Dick Garrison, age 12. It's not a whole lot, but they have some of the relations to the old show.
You see this with a lot of different things, from The Simpsons to SpongeBob. People will watch other episodes of things even if they don't like them, just because they're attached to things that they do like. They might watch it out of obligation even if they don't like each and every episode.
So if we feel attached to something, you have to feel obligated to watch every episode of spin-off for that thing. Well, better watch Extreme Ghostbusters and play Majora's Mask, because even though I don't like those things, I must see her play them. And I have to, because I like these things. Seriously, no one has to do this. I don't think anyone thinks this way. I mean, sure, you might do this if you're like a reviewer of a game, movie, book, music, or movie. But most people aren't reviewers, Pie Guy, so not everyone's gonna think like that.
Well, the video is about people who talk about Teen Titans Go, so it should kind of imply that he's only talking about a specific type of people.
Welp, I don't know how you did it, Stocky, but you made the whole slowly dying process a lot quicker. You could still make the argument that not all of the people who still talk about it are reviewers. Even if a person still talks about a thing, it doesn't mean they have to keep watching it. Which is DiCaprio's major point as to why Pie Guy's point is absolutely idiotic. Even though her point was kind of flawed in itself.
It's easier to take pot shots at something that's successful.
It's also a very lazy way of saying why you hate something. Instead of going into detail or just having a reasonable way to hate it, you're just saying because it's popular.
I'm sorry, but just because it's popular? Did you just forget about the rest of the whole video you're commentating on? Because throughout the whole video, he gave other reasons as to why people still talk about Teen Titans Go, other than just because it's popular. It just seems like you're just trying to make Pie Guy look bad.
DiCaprio wasn't fucking saying the only reason people hate on Teen Titans Go was because it's popular. She was criticizing the reason Pie Guy brought up, which, since you didn't fucking bother to pay attention, he said, it's easier to take pot shots at things that are popular. Now, Stocky, you said, it seems like you're just trying to make Pie Guy look bad. Well, couldn't the same be said about you right now? Because you're criticizing DiCaprio as if she actually thinks the only reason people hate Teen Titans Go is because it's popular. Which she didn't mean in the fucking slightest. As she was criticizing what Pie Guy said. And you even fucking showed the clip of Pie Guy saying this. So not only do you fail at criticizing DiCaprio, and not only does your footage not help your case in the slightest, but you completely fucking counterintuited yourself. GG, Stocky.
However, there's something in which case that within this point here, there's something else that's going on. The time that you interjected towards DiCaprio is at 5:46 of your own video, and at the end of your point in your own video, it's at 3:49. Now, I want everyone to keep these in mind when it comes towards the next point that Stocky makes.
So yeah, Teen Titans Go is still being talked about because it's not just one series, but a part of a bigger franchise. And a part that I might add is quite a bit different from a lot of other parts of the franchise. Number 2, it's a successful show. Ratings-wise, from sources that I've seen, the show is doing a little bit better than Steven Universe.
It's more popular than my precious Steven Universe. I must complain about it being popular like the cool kids do. That must stand for having more successful shows.
And that's implying he even said that to begin with. Which, by the way, he didn't.
Now, points-wise, it's, I mean, she never said that Pie Guy said that. She was just mocking those who hate the show for the very reason. However, remember the time straps within my last point? Well, here's the following time straps within this point. At the end of the Capio's point, it's at 5:34 of her own video, and at the end of your point here, it's at 4:20. Weed! 5:46 and 3:49 compared to 5:34 and 4:20. Why is it that you decide to skip one section of the video, and then you decide to skip backwards? If you're going to commentate on something, then at least do it in order of the video and not mix all of the points up of the video that you're commentating on instead. What's worse is that I don't think that this is intentional to begin with, as you don't really explain exactly why you did that. I think that you've just forgot to make one point of the video that you've skipped, and then place the one point without putting it at the right place. Either that, or this is an extreme editing error that you didn't caught on while having a script handy when you watch your own videos. Either way, however, I wouldn't be surprised.
Why would you be surprised? It's fucking stocky.
This is not a knock on Teen Titans Go. This is just me saying that across the board, even on shows that I love to death like Steven Universe, Cartoon Network loves to advertise the heck out of it and make it look really stupid.
I remember when CN spammed a Steven Universe ad or ads for its programming blocks. Does that make those things stupid by your logic?
Yeah, did he ever say that they weren't stupid? No. You know, just taking what the person you're commentating on said out of context, only to make them look bad, just kinda comes off as pretty immature if you ask me.
Your point was doing so well until you said this shit. How does her taking Pie Guy's point out of context make her immature? Sure, it's considered stupid as hell, but how is it immature? These are two completely different concepts. And plus, you make it seem as if she purposely took Pie Guy's point out of context to make him look bad. Which, by the way, she didn't. It was just her not properly analyzing what was said. Also, isn't it funny how Stocky's trying to say someone is immature, when yet Stocky is the embodiment of immaturity?
Is that the show has actively responded to its criticism. The show has made 2 episodes, Let's Get Serious and The Return of Slade. The creators have explicitly stated that both of these episodes are in fact reactions to the criticisms that they've gotten.
Actually, CN airs our shows frequently too. And we have this thing called DVR. You record the shows you like and only watch those episodes of the show.
Are you kidding me? Like, are you really using the if you don't like it, don't watch it card? I mean, there's so much wrong with that. One, I can easily use that logic against you.
I swear to God, Stocky, if you ever dare stated that within the video.
I mean, if you don't like all those videos made by the people in the animation community, then why do you even watch those? And even then, the reason why this statement really fails, because how do we even know if we don't like it if we don't even watch to begin with?
Stocky! Holy crap! Stocky! Do you watch your videos before uploading them? The Capio's point was that if people were really against those episodes, then how would they just never watch it again and don't give it much attention? To kinda help her point, if we were to not give the episodes much attention and focus on the other stuff, then the writer's attempt would have failed and they wouldn't avoid pulling those stunts again. There is a reason phrases like vote with your wallets and any publicity is good publicity exists. Because us giving the episodes attention with us still talking about it, we therefore give the writers what they want. You bringing up the, oh, how do we know we don't like it, doesn't even work, as the context would imply that they have already watched the episode.
In fact, you want to know what I noticed about you? You seem to be the commentator that only real purpose in the sense of actually making a valid point, which is in low amounts, might I add, is to point out really tiny things and make them out to be bigger issues than they actually are. Or if we're just talking about in general, you did that overall. Period.
I don't want to watch any more of this show. I don't want to think about the show.
Well, what have you been yammering on about your class of 3000? Well, I must have read the title of the video wrong or something, because you're talking about Teen Titans Go right now.
Pretty convinced that you misread the title, because what I got was 5 reasons why people are still talking about Teen Titans Go. Yeah, about people talking about Teen Titans Go. I don't think he meant talking about Teen Titans Go itself.
Yeah. He's still talking about Teen Titans Go. If he really was done talking about Teen Titans Go, then this video wouldn't exist at all. He'd let people like Mr. Enter continue to talk about it.
Also, can you explain to me that he talks about Cartoon Network spamming ads for the show or how it airs frequently?
Either way, he is still technically talking about the show because he's bringing in examples toward the topic of why people are still talking about the show to begin with.
And that's why I'm not making any more Teen Titans Go videos. At least for a long while, and at least not on the show itself.
What were we just thinking about? Potatoes? How I can make Cody better in Street Fighter Alpha Free? God dang it, Pie Guy, you're disappointed right now. Well, why did you make this video? Usually people say to stop talking about something, they usually don't talk about it anymore.
And are you sure you didn't just mishear what he just said? Because this is what I got.
No, I'm not playing that part of your commentary. It drags the point out for way too long, and we don't want our audience to waste their lives looking at that.
And that wraps it up. I'm pretty much ending it here. Mainly because the video is just about done anyway, and I just have nothing else to say. So, what are my final thoughts? Honestly,
your avatar went to a blank screen for a second. This kills my imagination. You should be locked up with Al Capron, you murderer.
I thought it was really bad if you just couldn't tell. And he just took she has some titties way out of context, and honestly, it just kind of seems like he just did it just to kind of make him look bad. So yeah, anyway, that's it, and goodbye.
In today's video, we're going to be covering Alternative Owen, who did a commentary on Defaultalizer's review of LEGO Marvel Superheroes.
Now, one thing to note here is the fact that he himself did a request to me to do a commentary on this very video via Skype. However, he should have realized I have a tendency to bring up co-op partners when it comes towards these requests. But anyways, please don't harass the guy, especially since that this is a request. Other than that, with all of that being said, let's take a look.
So, my last commentary didn't go so well. Let's see if I can do better.
Alright, I've got a bit of an issue here. At the very beginning of the video, you show us the like-dislike ratio from your last commentary, and it's not positive. My honest suggestion would be to just keep this out entirely. And I'm not saying that as to say that just because you made a bad video, this one will be bad too. No. It just automatically, or in my case at least, gives me a bad feeling. Try and keep your projects separate. That way, casual viewers won't instantly be turned off your video in fear that this one will turn out like the last one.
Today's commentary is on Defaultalizer. Recently, he made a review of LEGO Marvel Superheroes. I didn't like it that much, so here I am. As someone who has played the game and really liked it, this seemed like my kind of review to pick apart. Now, he did give the game a positive review, but that doesn't mean there aren't problems with the video. Also, I'm using Oswald as my avatar because Default's favorite Wii game is Epic Mickey. Let's begin.
Call me crazy, aka toss this one as a nitpick, but am I the only one here who thinks that bringing up which avatar you want to use without possibly a joke or a tie-in to a story per se in the commentary to be kinda pointless? Like, I don't know why, but it's unneeded info that you've reinstated within your video. Like, cool, you're stating on who you're using, but I could just take this info out and nobody would even care. Unless if you're that person who really does care, but even then, they could probably just ask that question in the comment section.
Look at that, I'm reviewing another LEGO game. Well, I did play this recently, so I might as well review it. I'm just gonna put a spoiler warning up right here because I'm about to spoil the fact that this is, in fact, a good game.
You're about to spoil the fact that this is, in fact, a good game? Looks like someone doesn't believe in repetition.
At the very worst, you don't really explain all that well as to how it was repetitive, and you just left it as that. You could have possibly explained to Defaultalizer on how he could have fixed this in order to maybe strengthen your point, but because as to how you don't use examples, I'm not really seeing as to how it's that repetitive.
Not just that, but holy shit, if this isn't one of the nitpickiest things I've ever heard. Like, yeah, okay, he was a little repetitive with his wording. Good job for noticing. But honestly, I had to go through that section like 5 times to even understand what the hell you were getting at. While the way he put it could have been written better, you're honestly making a mountain out of a molehill. The way he put it didn't interrupt the flow of his video at all, and unlike you, I could actually get what he was trying to say.
But I think I should start getting into the specifics of why it's a good game. First, I think I'll go into the story. It basically involves a gang of supervillains led by Dr. Doom and Loki, gathering up a bunch of these cosmic brick things so Dr. Doom can rule the world. There's more to it than that, but I won't go into it anymore because of the fact that there are some plot twists in there that I don't want to spoil.
Weird, because I don't remember there being any actual plot twists. I mean, I guess there were mini twists like, by the way, I'm going to spoil one part of the game, so if you haven't played it or want to play it, then skip over to this part of the video. Okay. When Dr. Doom and the rest of the villains team up to defeat Galactus, but that type of plotline has been done to death enough. There aren't really many noteworthy twists I can think of that happen in this game is what I'm trying to say.
What about the one you literally just said? Who the hell cares if it's a mini twist? Does that somehow make it not a plot twist? And what? It's been done to death? Who the hell cares? How is that even a factor in deciding if it's a twist? That's still a twist, so you literally interrupted to call him out for being wrong and validated his point. And not even just that, but there's also the fact that if, in your own words, the mini twist had been done to death, then why is it you decided to give a spoiler warning? I'm not saying that what you said wasn't a spoiler, but if it's the way you worded it, it's not exactly a spoiler. That's like saying that Mario fighting Bowser at the end of every Mario game is a spoiler.
Also, Owen, did you just fucking use a subjective opinion in trying to debunk a certain claim? You do realize I have a huge pet peeve with commentators doing that shit, right? I swear to fucking God, I'm gonna try to find a Lego brick so that you can step on it.
Now, MCR, you're too early in this commentary to be this angry. He's not worth it, I promise.
The cutscenes, just like always, are good, fun to watch, and pretty funny. The game's not really as funny as LEGO City Undercover or LEGO Dimensions, but it still is pretty funny.
Okay, but how do we know it's funny? The footage you're showing doesn't really indicate good humor, and if I remember right, there are way funnier moments in this game. Also, more repetitiveness. Yay!
Okay, you did it again. You fucking did the same problem as before again. First of all, you just got on him for not explaining why the game is funny, and yet you're not explaining how what he's doing is repetitive. Do you feel the fucking burning hypocrisy? And no, being a hypocrite does not instantly make you wrong, but holy shit is it annoying. I also have to point out that you claim that later parts of the game are way funnier than what he's showing. Okay, mind telling us a few of your examples? So not only are you not explaining anything about why Defoffalizer's arguments are bad, but you're also saying he's not explaining. And I know I briefly talked about it, but oh my god, he's still not explaining why it's repetitive.
Now, hold on for a moment. He's replaying a clip this time. Hopefully he'll explain a bit more about it.
The game's not really as funny as LEGO City Undercover or LEGO Dimensions, but it still is pretty funny.
Fucking. Also, let me explain us towards how you've done it threw me off a bit. I know that this is from my own personal experience, but to me, I felt like as if you saying yay was an indication towards how you defended your own point towards it being repetitive, which isn't surprising since you don't explain. And then you tried to explain it with the clip being replayed again with a chuckle. Like, at least try to connect the dots here towards what you're trying to get at this time. The way that you've done it confused me a bit.
I also really like the style of how whenever a new character's introduced, their name is shown right next to them in white text. And I'm not gonna lie, that subtle little detail right there led to my favorite joke in the entire game. I'm not gonna spoil it for those of you who haven't played this game, but for those of you who have, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, fantastic. A detail that literally could be in any other video game ever is unique and subtle. Also, what joke? Again, I'm bringing up things that I don't remember in this game. Maybe it's because I haven't played LEGO Marvel Superheroes in about a year or so, but I don't remember anything like that at all. This is an instance where you can spoil one part of the game and it wouldn't really matter.
Okay, the first point you just made was super aggravating the way you presented it. Like, yes, the black and white text with the characters' names when being introduced could be in anything else, but you're forgetting the fact that it's not in any other game. Also, he didn't say at any point that this was somehow unique, just that he thought it was a subtle detail. He's just complimenting something that he likes. Like, chill, man. Not just that, but it's not his fault you don't remember the joke he's talking about. And in fact, you derail your whole argument by saying you haven't played the game in over a year. Like, you realize you could have done a bit of research, right? Now, I can get behind the fact that Defoffalizer was being pretty general, and that he could have said the joke and not given away a lot, but that doesn't at all take away from the fact that your argument was totally flawed.
Ants.
Alright, I might be speaking towards subjectivity here, but I honestly would like to point out just a small thing that honestly kind of bugs me just a little bit within the CC before we do continue on. To me personally, I honestly would like more commentators to do this within their commentaries more, and that's with how they play their skip cards. There are those people out there who might be stating that they don't like it with commentators playing the skipping card because it could drag out the video, thus deeming them to be worthless. In some cases, I can actually understand here, but with an exception. You see, the problem of that is that there are other people out there who might actually do care, and no, they aren't just commentators, but those who might actually just like the details or what have you. Don't get me wrong though, some of the other people's arguments do hold water, but only if it doesn't A, play the damn skipping card every single time that they're skipping, B, state as to where you're skipping, and I usually skip a minimum of 30 seconds, and C, state as towards why you're skipping. If the footage is small, then you could just state that while you're playing the video. Otherwise, just state within the beginning that you'll be skipping within the video. This is in some way that to those who do care about this kind of stuff, they can gather at least some info as to why you've skipped within the first place. Now, heading back to the video and tying this up within the tangent here, Owen,
You're not helping the situation. You don't explain as to why you were skipping, and for all I know, you could have just skipped a portion of the video that was less than the actual duration of your skipping card, or even just roughly around a second to 5 seconds longer than your skipping card. I do not think that this is the case, so I'm gonna try to trust you here, but let me just state here that if you don't add this kind of info next time that you make in the commentary, then just leave it out as it's just padding the video. Oh, and for anyone who asked, I've checked this recent commentary, and it's the exact same issue presented here. We'll be skipping most of your skip cards throughout the commentary, thank you very much.
Shit, I need a point too. Butts! Haha! In your face, I got the better one there!
Hey, John.
Yeah, what's up?
Kill yourself.
Okay!
In terms of heroes, we got the Avengers, well, at least the ones that were in the first movie. The Fantastic Four, you know, before this disaster. Spider-Man, and what I'm assuming are most of the X-Men.
What you're assuming is most of the X-Men? Come on, this is a game featuring almost every Marvel superhero. You have to know that the X-Men will be in it.
What? What? Were you fucking trying to miss the point? His point about the X-Men is not about how he didn't expect them to be in the game. His point when saying most of the X-Men is that he's not sure if all of the members are featured. That's, like, so painfully obvious.
Also, I just realized this before recording this commentary, but what I'm going to do is play the final sentence that the Flufflizer makes before you interjected in this point, and play the portion that you've skipped. I'll stop when you cut back to this video.
In terms of heroes, we got the Avengers, well, at least the ones that were in the first movie. The Fantastic Four, you know, before this disaster. Spider-Man, and what I'm assuming are most of the X-Men. The villains in this were also really good too, most of which I already knew, but a few of them were new to me.
God damn it, Owen, now I have fucking trust issues with you now.
If I have one small complaint with the heroes and villains in this game, it's the fact that in the first 3 levels, Spider-Man comes in halfway through all of them, and all the levels focus around some sort of Spider-Man villain.
Except in the 3rd level, where Spider-Man comes in at the very beginning. As someone who said they played the game recently...
Well, I did play this recently, so I might as well review it.
You should know this.
Cool. Now, this is going to be silly of me, but I have a small little request. Yeah, how about actually showing some proof yourself next time? As someone who hasn't played the game, and the Flufflizer's video is probably my first time seeing any kind of footage of the game, I don't know anything about the storyline of the game at all, so maybe instead of accidentally alienating your audience, you could have instead showed some footage of the beginning of the level to where Spider-Man would show up instead. You got onto him for not explaining shit, but here you go, not explaining shit. Here, my co-op partner can do it better. John, what is this kind of shit?
That's bird shit! You just shit yourself before you asked that question, didn't you?
What? How dare you accuse me of something that I didn't even do? I'm a Pokemon after all! Besides, you were wrong anyways. I was looking for bullshit.
Now on to the gameplay. Basically, have you ever played a Lego game before? Because if so, then you already know what the gameplay's like. It's the same formula used by just about all the other Lego games, but hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. For those of you who don't know, basically you beat up enemies, collect money, and solve puzzles using the various abilities that the characters have.
Okay, I hate to be a nitpicky frick, but they're called studs. Get your terms right.
Okay, no. You know what? You're fucking right. That was a nitpick, but that was like probably the worst nitpick I've ever heard in my entire life. Your correction literally changes nothing. So what if he said the technically incorrect version of what money is called in the Lego games? How does that detract from the video at all? Especially when actually just calling it money is more convenient for the audience. Because if he had said studs, those people that hadn't played any Lego games would be alienated as shit.
Am I good at commentaries yet?
No!
If there's one thing I definitely gotta give this game credit for, it's that it probably has the best bosses in any Lego game I've played. I mean, the games aren't exactly known for their bosses. These aren't the kind of games that you play for the boss battles, but I do think they were better in this game than the other games in the series I've played.
Okay, but how are we supposed to know you're showing footage of actual boss fights? Because in the first clip, it shows the player eliminating enemies with a counter at the top of the screen. Now, this could be seen as the boss sending out enemies, but it doesn't really show us where the boss is. Also, in the second clip, you don't even see a health meter. If you want to show us boss fights, show us ones with health meters or ones we can actually see, like the fight with Dr. Doom, Doc Ock, or the final boss with Galactus.
Okay, to be fair, we did skip over that one part of the commentary simply due to the fact that you're not technically wrong per se, and the time codes are placed here again just in case. But this is like the third time that you've repeated the point about how he should be using matching footage bit throughout your commentary. Please never repeat your points again before I start forcing the cactus down your throat.
Before I start the commentary proper, I'd like to thank Michael Schomer for sharing.
Michael, you're a scaredy cat! Got
I'm sorry? How was Michael Schomer being a scaredy cat for showing your video on Michael to Gale Force? If you'd listen as to what Gale Force said, she said, I want to thank Michael Schomer for sharing this video with me, not, I want to thank Michael Schomer for requesting me this video. And before you say that sharing and requesting the same thing, 1, definition block. And 2, if he wanted someone else to do a commentary on you, then he'd honestly would have said so to not only Gale, but to many of the other commentators within the commentary community, especially when it comes towards the rest of the members of the Order of the Dim-Witted Doves. Oh yeah, I forgot to explain that Fox and Oddhead merge into, well, odd. Subscribe for some future content on there. Anyways, I feel like the only reason why Michael didn't do a commentary on your commentary on this one shot is because he either didn't wanted his argument to go back and forth and wanted to give someone else a chance, and or he didn't want to do a commentary when someone else might have been doing a commentary on the same video. And before you accuse Michael for wanting / requesting / demanding me to do a video on you, he never even requested me to do one. This was actually my choice to even do this 2-shot on you.
Damn. Shit.
Thunder Pursuit, which I thought was a good commentary. A few days after I saw his one-shot, he showed me Thunder's response to him, which Thunder called a one-shot commentary, but as will be illustrated as I go on, it's more than one shot. But
I'm having a flashback right now. I might watch Gale Force video later, because it's probably just what a one-shot is. I don't even give a fuck what a one-shot is anymore. Point is, my points were valid, so what it's called, my video was a one-shot. But according to their broken logic, it's not a one-shot, though it still is. But I don't.
Alright, I'm gonna stop here, and I'm going to read the overall thing that he said, so that some people who are doing something from the background can understand the context. I don't want to waste your time, so let me just record now without any puns or jokes. What I've learned besides next to nothing was, Gil cried about my slang typo, which was typed that way purposely, images that weren't big enough for her blind self, saying new viewers won't understand what's going on while Michael explained what was going on. She says my video wasn't a one-shot when it is, previous video on Blaze explained more, so I won't repeat myself. Why is it texted? The text was too long / short type shit. I don't know, but she needs to get laid and fast. And now for me to refute some of your problems. The part about Gale Force being blind, let me bring this part in here.
But excuse me, I thought screen capping evidence would have been enough to prove beyond a questionable doubt that my points are valid.
Maybe it would help if we were actually able to read the screen caps.
Trust me when I say that I couldn't actually read the screen caps either. Just because of the fact that you could read or understand them doesn't mean that the audience can understand or read the screen caps too. Especially since your text within the screen caps are too small, and the fact that the size of the screen caps are too small to the point where the pixels are too big to pinpoint the letters at all. Hold on a minute. Do you mean the actual commentary on Tyler? Well, let me go ahead and take a look at the... Nope, not at all. You didn't help your overall situation. Nope, I'm quitting, I'm gonna slowly die in the corner! Huh. Well, I'd be a son of a bitch. I can actually read it. Whoop! False alarm! Now I can die peacefully at the corner now! But... here's a question. Why couldn't you explain to Gale Force that you actually have gotten readable screen caps on your video on Tyler and that she was just nitpicking on the overall screen caps on her point instead of calling her blind for not reading it? You saying that implies that the audience was in the wrong for not understanding as to what you said within the screenshot that you've shown to Michael, when it was just simply a misunderstanding. Towards your point about how Michael said as to what was going on and that Gale Force was nitpicking when she said that new viewers won't understand as to what was going on, I'll go ahead and bring in 3 points. 1. To argue that point alone, it doesn't necessarily matter since A. They could possibly provide the wrong facts, B. Someone could have skipped over it, and C. When started in the video, the audience does want to know at the intro as to what was going on. 2. I can agree with the fact that Michael does explain some things, but to a certain extent. He did state it for the fact that the video that you're covering on was on Tyler's commentary on Teen Go-On Fighter, but vaguely. And 3, let me bring up Gale Force's video in again. Intro.
A 26-second long intro that consists solely of a clip from DBZ Abridged with a "Don't mess with the savage" text overlay, and ending the intro with... That's not much of an intro, dude. I'm sorry. You can at least make it more engaging and descriptive by adding more text saying who the subject of the commentary is and what the original video is, like what Red and Rhino and I do.
As you can tell, this wasn't the main point of her argument. The point was that she had a problem with the length of your intro and how it wasn't all engaging. She was given a suggestion, and note the word suggestion, that one way to solve this is to provide info as to who you're commentating on. Or when it comes towards another suggestion, and this one is my suggestion, don't provide an intro like that and just state as to who you're doing a video on. And finally, the part about her stating that it's not a one-shot, let me show you a clip towards Blue Flame 3500 who did a one-shot on you, in which case I'll link that video down in the description box below.
Notice how Caden said, here is a hint on the name, as in not referring to the literal definition of the term one-shot. If you don't understand where I'm getting at, allow me to explain in greater detail. When commentators put the words one-shot in the title of those specific types of commentaries, they use it as a phrase to indicate to the audience watching that the commentary is only going to present one interjection. I can back this up because there are similar phrases that I know off the top of my head, as well as phrases that commentators have used before that mean the exact same thing. Examples are one and done, let's shoot once, 1, 2, 3 shot, and so forth. In other words, you using the dictionary term of one shot not only doesn't debunk Caden's statement, but also shows you completely missed the point of what he was trying to say to you.
Oh, and 2 more questions for the overall video, really, and for the first one, excuse me for being nitpicky here, but why do you feel like bringing the 2 children into the video? My overall main concern is that the video is only about 2 minutes, for about 30 seconds of which is the text screen here, and now you only brought in, while using a camera mind you, 2 points that you either said it yourself as well as showing the people to watch the other video to get a full context of, or that you could have said it yourself. Though, if I have to bring in one pro towards them, they do seem nice. Unlike you, however, which brings me to the second question. Why is it that when you commentated on Michael when he left a comment, you resorted to death threats now? Bruh, that's low.
Everyone, meet Chirprox, a newcomer within the commentary community. She did a 2-shot on a YouTube channel called Queer Kid Stuff, where the host is trying so desperately hard to make her demographic towards very young children and teaching them what the terms LGBT means. The topic is about bisexuality, by the way. However, while I do have an issue with Queer Kid Stuff themselves, I also have an issue with Chirprox's video too, and here's some of the points stating why.
Can I make a little toast? Can we get a little close? Can I get an amen? Can I get a hell yeah? Can I get a Holy Ghost?
Let's see here. Well, I could say something positive for once within my commentaries and state that your intro is short, so I guess props to you on that. But unfortunately, the negatives outweigh the positives. For starters, the title in the actual video does not match the title on the YouTube page, even with you changing it originally from a one-shot to a commentary on the YouTube page. I have a very minor nitpick for you to maybe try to outline your text next time, just so that people can read it better. And then there's the Bandicam watermark. I need to ask you a question as to whether or not if you did recorded this and edited it yourself, because if so, then why don't I see it with the actual video that you've covered? If not, and it was from another video, then it kind of proves as to how lazy your editing is a bit.
Today we are talking about the second letter, B. B stands for bisexual. Bisexual is very similar to gay and lesbian, which we've already talked about. Bisexual is when a boy or a girl loves other boys or girls. Bisexual is when you love people of both genders.
Here's my biggest problem. What she says is incorrect because any logical person would know that the actual term for bisexual is the sexual and physical attraction towards men and women. What she stated previously was the term for biromantic, and that is the romantic attraction towards both men and women.
You do realize that the terms bisexual and biromantic tends to go hand in hand, right? Like, I never heard of a bisexual who wasn't biromantic as well, considering the fact that they're attracted to both sexes sexually and romantically. Other than that though, keep this point in mind because later on she's gonna try to shoot herself in the foot. However, I want to point out the obvious 4:3 ratio here. You have a background, which does seem great, but now the background doesn't stretch out to fit the screen, which does kind of look a little bit unprofessional. This also doesn't help that the video that you've covered also has an effect on this too, because this caused the video to shrink down to try and fit its own ratio, thus having a black box surrounding the video. This may be the case with some of your avatar pictures too, as the background seems to have disappeared as well.
I guess I'm a little confused. Are people who are bisexual also gay if they are a boy in love with a boy or a girl in love with a girl? And what if a boy and a girl love each other? Does that make them not gay?
Also, did I mention that her target audience is towards children from ages 2 to 4 years old? I have no idea why she feels like it's mandatory to teach toddlers this stuff, but the irony in this is she's teaching them incorrect information. In fact, what she is trying to do is not going to help children out in the long run, and this is probably going to make them even more confused when they grow up. Especially since toddlers are at an age where they just mastered walking, don't speak in complete sentences, are learning how to be potty trained, and can't read or write.
Oh boy, now we got to the point that I actually shot you in the foot. You did say now that queer kid stuff is mainly targeted towards kids. However, you said within your first introduction saying that bisexuality is mainly geared towards sexually who you're attracted to, while being biromantic is when you're romantically attracted to both genders. Again, for most of the times, these terms tend to go together, so considering the fact that most kids, let's assume by the age of 4 to 6, do not know the words sex or sexually yet, or even behind those definitions, I could see them trying to say bisexuality is when the person is in love with both genders. Don't get me wrong, I don't like them doing this too, considering the fact that you are right with how kids will be confused by this. But the main issue within this commentary was that you've kind of missed the point while getting the point at the same time. Or something along lines like that.
Ces idées, ils partent en guerre pour un monde idéal. Les chevaliers du zodiaque s'en vont toujours à l'attaque en chantant une chanson bien haut, c'est la chanson des héros. Les chevaliers du zodiaque contre les forces démoniaques gardent toujours au fond de leur cœur les coups chansons des héros.
This intro needs to be revised, like, majorly. Like baseball. For one, the intro is more than 45 seconds of the video, and you obviously don't need it that much, especially since you only mentioned what avatar you're using, the opening theme for the video, and finally the video number as well as the video title. I'd say try to keep it down towards like 20 to 30 seconds as it doesn't drag the video out that much. For a second, I thought that it might have been sped up. The footage that you've used is an actual intro from the animation called Heidi, and besides maybe speeding it up, you didn't have any actual edits to your intro. I kinda find that to be lazy, and I advise you to maybe make some edits for that intro or include some other footage for the show to use for your intro.
Och Balto ser snäll och gullig ut. När han i filmen ser ut som ett jävla kloakmonster.
I don't even know what to do with this from. But that creature is a demon.
He was complaining about / comparing the cover of the DVD as well as the actual footage. He's saying that the cover could be misleading considering that the dog within the cover has golden fur while within the movie, the dog has gray. Now, I haven't watched the reviewer's full video considering the fact that he's more than likely Norwegian and the fact that there's no subtitles for the full video, so I'm only relying on your subtitles. But considering the fact that the movie Balto is a ripoff to the actual Balto movie, and also that this isn't the first time that Dingo Pictures, the one who made the knockoff version, to actually rip off another movie / franchise, I can kinda see his point of view. He's mainly stating that's a bit misleading to the audience and that the cover could be considered as quote-unquote clickbaity.
Baltos ena framben ser dessutom ut att vara hälften så lång som de andra. Men överlag så är det ändå inte helt åt helvete. Jag menar, de stavar ju faktiskt rätt i tiden. Vilket de inte alltid gör. På baksidan sen finns det en helt gul isbjörn som käkar glass och 3 fiskar som ser ut att flyga ovanför vattnet. Och slutligen så står det att filmen är 33 minuter lång när den egentligen är 31 minuter och 29 sekunder. Nej, det kan jag avrunda. Uppåt till 33 istället för 32. Jag vet inte, det bara känns som en bra siffra.
Even if the cover is flawed, you focus too much on a little part. With that,
fucking pingviner och isbjörnar finns på varsin sida av jorden.
I think this might actually be a perfect time to address the subtitles that you use for the reviewer. I do think that this is a good thing for viewers to use, especially towards those who don't speak English whatsoever. However, I have 2 issues with the overall layout here. First of all, and a bit nitpicky, but it actually would be nice for you to outline your text. There are times where I feel like as if the text blended into the background, making it a bit hard for me to read it. The second one is, again, I do like how you place the subtitles for us so that we can understand as to what the reviewer is saying, but the issue comes into play as to who are your target audience, which, especially with the language now being the key factor here, involves who you're doing the commentary on. You've added in English subtitles for us English reviewers on the reviewer's end, but you didn't add in Norwegian subtitles in your interjection so that the person you're commentating on can understand what exactly you're saying. Especially since you're also making the video towards the person in question, and considering the fact that one of the main purposes of commentaries is to, well, critique, you wouldn't understand as to what you're saying. Now, does he know a bit of English or understand English? Maybe, I don't know. But this is for an advice for you if you do cover a non-English video again and the person in question doesn't speak/understand English.
I alla fall, sen ska de gå och fiska. Jag är bara ute och går med min tama isbjörn. Det är inget konstigt.
how they put both common and polar bears in zoos?
Oh, wait, hold up. What did you say? Something about polar bears and humans being near each other and the zoos being common? If that's the case, then... well, yeah, but no, that's not his major point. What his major point is the fact that it's not uncommon for humans walking alongside with the polar bears while the polar bear isn't going to attack the human. Now, you could argue that there are some humans that could do that, but what I am arguing here is the overall commonality. As in, an average person who either isn't some kind of bear whisperer or owns a polar bear as a pet for some reason or another would not likely be near each other when the bears are out in the wild. If you still don't believe me, however, go ahead and try it out. More than likely, I'll either find your body on the ground after the attack, or you being scared shitless with possible cuts on you and maybe piss on your pants.
Bara kolla vilka fula miner de har här. De har bara dragit några extra streck i pin och det ser för jävligt ut. De har ju fucking jokerminer båda två.
This comparison, along with your inspirations, means how American you are.
Sluta med vad? De gjorde ju inget.
The racing moron.
Now, I won't deny for the fact that within your last point that you've made wasn't wrong. I mean, this is actually true. I've watched further into the part where they've played as guest rare within the review Felix is in, but there is a reason as to why I played both of your points here. You see, my problem is the fact that we not only did we just now learn from the both of you that they were racing before, again, assuming within the clips that you've shown us, but you didn't provide any clips within the video to not only further your point, but to also strengthen your point. You see, one of the major issues I've noticed not only within this commentary, but your first commentary, is the fact that you actually don't go further into detail with your points. You just kinda left it hanging above the death trap. You sickening monster. Some of the time, too, you just made one-off statements within your point and just left it as that. You should try to further articulate your point so then that way we can further understand what your point is about. Now, I would make more, but there is one more major flaw that I've noticed within this commentary that I need to make a montage out of it.
Fucking pingviner och isbjörnar finns på varsin sida av jorden.
The difference isn't as large when I realize both regions go across the globe, if we even believe the northernest land on Earth isn't Greenland.
Det där var ju skittråkigt, men det är inte över än.
Even he said it some, Mr. Felix.
Den här exakta animationen är med i filmen typ 5 gånger, som ett jävla running gag.
Redundant as much as any.
Hur som helst, det visar sig att Nico och de andra barnen har blivit sjuka.
De har fått difteri. Men det är ju livsfarligt.
Why do you even bother trying to propaganda this as my love?
Va? Menar du att en rå fisk inte kan lösa alla hans problem?
A bit naive to believe nutrients fish them won't even help the situation.
Tänk om nu kommer och överlevt och de bara antar att han är död eftersom att Balto blundade. Då kommer han ju dö på grund av dem.
Not only have my body got almost sleep down on being return trip home.
I can't even understand is what you're saying. Like, at all. Part of me is admittedly due to your accent, and considering the fact that you can't really fix that, my only advice for you is to put in English subtitles. I mean, yes, you actually did that within the first commentary, but my question now is why you didn't even do that within the second commentary? Like, seriously, what gives? The other part of it is within the background music that you've used, and it does drain out your voice, even with the fact that the song has vocals within them. Look, some of you guys can say all you want about my background music. This really needs some major improving on. I'd say mainly turn it down a lot, or don't even include them whatsoever.
You know what pisses me off, guys? Like I said, if this is too low, I'll just raise up the volume. Yeah, you know what pisses me off? Well, it's like, it's just like, it annoys me because of, like, how uneducated people are. Like, okay, I'm gonna say right now, like, I am a trap, and I'm not gay. At least not 100%.
Okay, that's cool, but question, why did you told me about how the term trap is considered to be an insult to you during the feud on Twitter? You've said on one tweet saying, and I quote, the whole trap issue is a non-issue. Okay, so false labeling people, especially a label that implies a criminal activity that can get you killed, is a non-issue? Okay, gotcha, Jack! Ha 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 ha! Hashtag trap is a slur. Not all cross-dressers are traps, and transgenders don't trap anyone. Which, by the way, do not twist my words, all I was saying was that trying to label some traps as bisexual is a non-issue, not the whole trap thing is a non-issue. Please pay attention. Anyways, note the hashtag trap is a slur, which indicates that you know that the word trap is a slur. Like, is there something that I'm missing here? Oh, hello, what's this? I am now informed by the term trap, so I am not a trap. I'm just a part-time cross-dresser and gender fluid. Oh. Well then. That's mainly more about not doing any kind of research on your part before you made the video. Okay, cool, nice to know. Still, huge question then. If you know that the term trap is considered to be an insult now, then why do you still defend the notion of bisexual traps? I'm not even talking about how traps can be bi for right now. I'm mainly more confused on the whole notion of you even trying to defend the notion of trap people and their sexualities in itself. Like, I've already described in the intro of the video about how the term trap is harmful to the LGBT community. Why are you even still using that term in the first place, especially in defense towards bisexual people who may consider themselves as traps? Oh, and to go off of a tangent considering the fact that I'm also responding to the feud too, heading back to the tweet that you've made, since when did someone say that cross-dressers are considered as traps? Or about how transgender people trap anyone? I don't remember bringing that up in the discussion, nor did anyone else for that matter. Also, am I the only person who thinks that this was probably one of the most disoriented and disjointed ways to start the video off? What I mean is that he doesn't know what he's doing with presentation-wise. I don't mind the slightly monotone delivery all that much, as I'm sure that this is really going to be background noise. But the thing is that when you're this monotone for your video being angry about it, I'm not being sold on it due to how lifeless you're really being over here.
I don't get why you people think that if a guy dresses up like a woman that he's gay. And here's another thing too, just because a guy fucks another guy doesn't mean that he's 100% gay and the guy that got fucked is 100% gay.
I'm gonna stop here simply because of the argument that we had on Twitter mainly. So, school it down. That's just the overall action that somebody is doing. Yeah, their sexual preferences can still be bi, heck, I'm bisexual myself, but it's to describe a person in the act of doing a particular thing. Yes, I can agree with you that they don't have to be 100% gay, but the issue, especially for here, is the fact that you're forgetting the actual act of what's going on. The way that you've worded it is corrected here, but overall, as time goes on, your wording here will indicate otherwise as towards what your actual argument is trying to convey. Also, to go back on the feud on Twitter again, you've said in one post saying, and I quote, people forget the B and LGBT and the whole R-traps gay debate. Neurotypicals, aka normal people, aka normies, are black and white in their thinking. I've replied with, well, the whole tweet that started the whole thing. I say that not only because I thought that you were taking the satirical debate way too seriously in some cases, but admittedly after when I said that, I didn't even think that it was a bisexual issue simply due to the fact that bringing in guys who think that they're a woman into a trap's home and reveal their penis to the guy was indeed a bisexual act. And yet no one ever said to you that it's 100% gay unless the person were indeed uninformed or joking. What people were saying was that if you're a male screwing around with another male, then that's a homosexual action. And in that instance, you're being gay with your actions within that period of time.
We know your home skips, pick up the phone skips. We know your home skips, pick up the phone skips. Alright!
So yeah, that's what I'm getting at. But I'm telling you right now that people are gonna comment and say, because I even saw some dude with like a minion profile picture commented on my Blair White video saying, if you get with a guy, then you're gay. I'm like, not always, because yeah, okay, there is people that are 100% gay, but then there's people that are bisexual and stuff like that. But you know, people don't think about that. They call it LGBT. They don't call it G and S, gay and straight. It's the G and S. No, dude, this ain't. No.
First of all, that's not exactly what he said. The person who commented in your Blair White video said, and I quote, any traps that goes after the gender they were born as are gay. For example, man transitions to a woman and dates men. They are gay. Your wording here with the whole if you get with a guy then you're gay not only implies as such in the comment that the person made when that person didn't even say anything like that, but it also confuses the audience simply because you didn't specify which gender the you part in your failed attempt at reading the comment. Now, as far as what the person here said, I don't agree with simply due to the argument of man transitions to a woman and dates men. Therefore, they're gay. Though part of me thinks I may or may not be reading too much into this whole transitions part. If a man transitions to a woman physically with proper hormones in them and they date men, then that's considered to be a straight relationship. If a male to female transgender dates other women, then that's a lesbian relationship. But oh wait, you'll say to me, which actually brings up the second part of the point, but those people may be bi. So, notice that what I'm saying here is a straight relationship and a gay relationship. Again, like I said, it is due to the actual act upon either during dating or having sex with someone. If you really want to call a relationship with two people a bisexual relationship since either one of them or even both of them are bisexual, then that would be confusing. And even if there are some traps that are bisexual, then big question, and I know that you'll answer me with some sort of anecdotal evidence, but I'll take whatever. Are there any trap people that you know that goes after females as well while being a trap person?
That's not how it works nowadays. I say destroy black and white thinking. Even some dumbass was just like, black and white thinking is actually a good thing in some aspects, like right and wrong. Well, that's different, motherfucker. That's different. And don't get me started on right and wrong, because look at weed. The government sees weed as bad, but it's really not. I'm going off on a tangent, but it's just so stupid.
You know, I absolutely love for the fact that you want to derail the entire conversation a lot. Like, do you even script? No? Oh. Well, that's a problem then. Dude, just to at least let you know, if you really want to go as far with having a lot of subscribers/viewers, then you do need one, or at least prepare yourself like bullet points or retakes if you hate scripting. That way, most people who are new to your channel aren't going to click off of it all because they're bored. Or, even better, do some editing and take some pauses out or take the tangents out too. Oh wait, I forgot. You do edit your videos, and unfortunately, it's not enough. Guys, if you do look at his video, which is linked in the description down below, you guys can see as towards how he actually has jump cuts in his videos. Like, he actually knows how to edit them, and he still doesn't even try to take out the useless information at all. Like, I'm sorry, but that's really all the criticism that I can give you. Just either script out your videos or make bullet points. Simple as that. Or, better yet, don't go off topic and stick to it.
It's like, I hate black and white thinking for the most part, if not 100%. Like, it's just bullshit. Like, everything's gray, and that's all you need to know. So, if you see two guys with each other, it doesn't mean that they're gay. One of them could be gay, both of them could be gay, but both of them could be bi, but no one thinks about that. If a guy wears a pink shirt, he must be gay, right? Sarcasm. It's so stupid. It's like, no one thinks about trans, no one thinks about transgender, no one thinks about bisexuality, no one thinks about that.
No one thinks about transgenderism, huh? Well, even though that there was some news in the US about the right to be in the bathroom that's not their assigned sex, or about that one news story about Bruce/Caitlyn Jenner coming out as a woman back then, as well as about how right now refusing the right for transgender people to serve, nobody else thinks about transgenderism. And that's cool it down as how you're supposed to act when using sarcasm. Not like this.
If a guy wears a pink shirt, he must be gay, right? Sarcasm.
Oh wait, hold on. You mean about the trap argument, huh? Like, even then, you're using gender identity towards an argument about someone's sexuality. I know that there's a lovely community called the LGBT community out there, but transgender people have nothing to do with the discussion at hand when it comes towards you arguing about sexuality. As for bisexual people, like I said, but this time in a different wording because I would actually love to know this from you since you're the one who's given out the argument. Give me an actual story that actually happened of a cisgendered female falling for a trap.
If I get one more fucking comment that says if you put a penis... No, if I get one more comment saying if you put a penis in a guy's butt or he puts his penis in your butt, then you're 100% gay and he's 100% gay. If I get any of those comments, you're either brainwashed, old way, get there, or you're just a fucking troll. And I did that because that's the old way thinking. It's the hillbilly thinking, guys.
Nah, man, that sounds like some kind of mentally disabled redneck mimicking a motorcycle, not a hillbilly denying that bisexuals can be trap people. You must be great at parties. And no, I don't mean the whole making random sounds part. I mean the, I'm gonna say that your mind has been raped for being wrong part. Yeah. Thank you for telling me about that. Like, that's cool, even though that the evidence on Twitter managed to show all of us that you can't handle the discussion without not having your personal feelings aside. This comment here pretty much further shows us that you can't have an actual discussion/debate without going overboard by saying that someone's mind has been raped by society. I mean, hey, there was a main reason why I didn't want to debate you on Discord, mainly because you'll say stuff like this.
Y'all, you people sound like, I'm saying right now, you people are hillbillies. You people sound like hillbillies, you know? That's what you guys think. You're like the hawk poo, just spitting all over the place. That's what you people think.
Assumptions based off of my ass much? My ass is a perfectly good looking butt, thank you very much. I just kind of really don't want to go more into the video because he rambles on and on and on and on and on. He really loves to go off topic, such as how he already made 3 videos about this topic, including the one about the Blair Wright video, and including the one that I'm doing a commentary on. How he talks again about the 2 comments I've already skipped, how things are in a spectrum, again, other animals being animals by having sex with the same gender, then something about polysexuality and teaching us the notion about it, something about 2 + 2 = fish, and then tries to end the video 1 minute and 30 seconds before the video actually ends. Now, how long is the video exactly? Oh dear. That's kinda wasteful. Dude, I get it. You don't like to do another one after making 2 videos. But why did you even try to make a 3rd one that most of which wasn't even related to the discussion about how traps can be bisexuals? Unless if you can try to bring something new that's absolutely relevant to the table, then yeah, no, I hate to say this, but it's kinda pointless for you to make this video if you've already made the same arguments over and over again. Like I said, scripts are your best friend. Anyways, I'll be doing some final thoughts in a minute, but first, before I do, I want to add in a small segment before I do anything else.
Are we still going to do it?
So this is probably one of the 2 other segments I'll be adding in within my commentaries just so that I can focus on the actual video at hand and not focus on the tiniest of things. So this first one is called Runaway Tangent, where I've discussed some other things I want to bring up, but that included within the actual video at hand. I'll save the other segment for another commentary as I don't see any of those around here. Anyways, I was going to include it within the actual commentary via one of the interjections, but due to me being a lazy butt and how with one of the videos that I wanted to mention was removed by Skull It Down, I think that making this segment after the commentary and before the final thoughts is something that might work out here. What I've noticed is that he actually doesn't like the CC a lot, and the videos that he removed were parody videos that he made, which was about the random topics including doodle tones, some other things I forgot as to what he posted, and scripting. He apparently doesn't like the thought of scripting. Oops. So I've decided to look on his Twitter to see if there were actual reasonings about it, or even see us towards whether or not if he really does hate the CC. And, not only do I found plenty of tweets saying that he does indeed hate the CC with a burning passion, but I found like 3 tweets that mentions the word criticism. The first tweet is about some girl whose opinions has changed and how he doesn't like that. The second one being in response to Frozen Angel, aka the guy who used to make commentaries but now has a hate boner for them. Gee, I wonder what for. And then finally, some random tweet that I found too. I'll be reading them out from word to word, so let's take a look, shall we? I feel sorry for leftists who gets red-pilled whether they're LGBTQ, from another race, from another belief system, etc. Constructive criticism can be indoctrination. I watched a video of a girl get her spiritual beliefs challenged and was mind raped once again by the mind rapist. It's bullshit. It's basically real-life robot chicken. You get plugged into the fucking matrix, only for them to hypno-fetish porn fuck you in your brain until you are just a pretty little lying brainfuck sheep person. She sounds like a fucking robot saying all of this shit, basing it on other people's beliefs that were unproven. It was some scary stuff. She became a fetchable sheep person on that day. When I say her spiritual beliefs, I mean she was an atheist and converted to something else. Which I refuse to say because discrimination. Even though that's not, but you know how any PC principle feels. Angel of Frozen.
I've decided to delete that tweet longer since I'm not too happy with how I acted.
Skull It Down. Men and women suck. Everyone sucks. I'll never change my ways. People think I'm a joke, but I don't know what else I can prove. I have facts, but some are just a weird ranty opinions. Anger reactionary mood issues are a bitch. OCD is a bitch. Everyone and everything is a bitch. Frozen Angel. Yeah, fuck people. CC are dicks too. Skull It Down 22. By the way, the whole point of constructive criticism is to sometimes, if not always, indoctrinate you over to their side to act like a pastel plushie. Don't do it. Always stand your ground and stand up for what you believe in. Don't listen to the mind rapes. Don't give in. Don't do it. Fuck criticism. It's just mind control to turn you over to their side. Well, I won't let them. Fuck the color pills. I have the mind train on my side. Fuck the mind rape. Listen to the mind train.
Oh. You think that constructive criticism is making you join the other side? That's not how criticism works, dude. It's to help you improve on you as either a content creator via by various medias and arts or as a person. In fact, the definition of Merriam-Webster even states that it's either the art of evaluating or analyzing works of art or literature, as well as the scientific investigation of literacy documents such as the Bible in regards towards such matters as origin, text, composition, or history. Nowhere did it state nor even apply anything about indoctrination. And as far as I know, from what people have voted on the straw poll via Twitter / various Discord chats, as of recording this, while although that 2 people did say yes without an explanation, 19 people have also stated that criticism is not a form of indoctrination too. One of these reasonings is that you can just even ignore those criticisms. Like, what the heck, dude? Alrighty then, tangent done. Now, let's get over to the final thoughts.
Before I give my actual thoughts on the video itself, I need to make my final thoughts on the whole thing on Twitter. I'm gonna be extremely open and upfront to you here. I really do not like you as a person via first impressions. And I usually like most people. The fact that you've managed to talk down to me as a person when I haven't done that to you makes me feel like as if you'll never listen to what I say. We keep telling you about when it's the overall actions that makes the overall action to be gay and not based upon their sexuality. And yet you've managed to either twist our words or just straight up not listen to us. You probably don't like me, and that's fine. I don't like you too. And you know what? Fine. I'll be up in front and say that I was sorta in the wrong here for somewhat trying to force you to make a rant video on me, just so that I can get some commentary material out of you. Even with me somewhat being calm about it, that part I can apologize to you about. However, do not act like this when meeting new people who want to debate with you, because otherwise they will see you as if you're just acting like an absolute ass. Now, when it comes towards the actual debate at hand, let me at least clarify with you here about what we're trying to say by answering you the questions that you've given me. How are traps gay? It's mainly because of the overall action of the trap itself. Unless if there's some bisexual woman, trans woman, or lesbian woman, or heck, if you really wanted to include straight women too, that was fallen for a male trap, the overall action is considered to be gay simply because of the fact that it's between a man and another man. Are the traps themselves gay? They can be, but they can also be bisexual, so fine, we can both agree on one thing here. But that's still a non-bisexual issue and should be a transgendered issue as well. What about the trap lovers? Same thing as previously stated. Keep up, please. Does bisexuality even exist? Yes! I keep telling you, I am a bisexual myself. How do you not get this? Okay, screw it. I've been keeping this point in. I think it's now the time for me to do it. You really want to know what makes it a bisexual act? If you have sex, make out, or whatever else you wanted to do with a man and a woman at the same time. That is the overall action here that we're telling you. Not the fact that traps can't be bi too. That, however, would mean that it would consider to be a polygamous action and not being a monogamous action. With a monogamous action, however, your action can only be a straight one or a gay one. That's it. There's no bisexual action in a monogamous sexual activity. The thing about it is that I don't get us towards why we need to know whether or not if a trap is bisexual or not. That is my overall main argument against you, school. I know that they're only into guys unless for some weird reason that they're attracted to girls and girls only. So I know that it's at least gay. Being bisexual shouldn't be a quote-unquote useful factor when it comes towards trap behavior simply because for the most part, they're only luring men into their bedrooms. That's it. If you still cannot figure that part out and just call me an anti-LGBT plebeian that has their minds raped, then I'm sorry, but I don't exactly know what to tell you. We've been always saying to you that it's the overall action that makes traps gay, not their sexualities. You just don't want to listen to us, and because of that, I don't think that we could ever get along. And to think that it all started with a guy dressing up as a woman wanting to have sex. How disappointing. At least make out with me first before spewing nonsense at me.
Before I even get started, I already know a lot of people, they view this video, especially if they are bisexual or gay, are definitely going to hit the dislike button on this bitch. This video gonna get some dislikes. And that's cool. But at the end of the day, I don't care because it's my channel and I can say whatever the fuck I want to say.
Well, I care. Care for the fact that you've dragged this part about how you don't care about the dislikes that you get because it's on your channel. No joke, this goes on about 40 more seconds of the video, and I care about my audience not be bored about this.
I honestly don't believe that a person that's bisexual, if they are in a relationship with the opposite sex, I don't feel that they could be faithful. I just don't. I don't think that, well, cheating is a choice. It's not like cheating is something you have to do. Cheating is what you choose to do. So I feel like that's a choice that a lot of bisexual people probably 85 to 90% will probably fuck around and make if they're dealing with a straight person.
You do realise that this scenario could just happen with someone who's in a relationship with anyone? It's not just bisexuals who might just cheat on their loved ones. Anyone could choose to cheat, regardless of their sexual orientation.
Interesting enough, I have an article that explains via science stating that 89% of bisexual women in a 10-year study stayed in monogamous long-term relationships. Furthermore, and I quote, "For those bisexual individuals who desire multiple sexual partners, research suggests that they typically achieve this goal by negotiating open relationships with their partners, not by sneaking around behind their partners' backs."
Everybody doesn't agree with me. Everybody think I'm not being fair with what I'm saying, whatever. But that's my belief. I'm not gay. I'm not bi. I don't want to be. I personally believe that your sexuality is a choice. All that shit about you were born that way, or I used to think maybe that's true, but nah, you choose who you want to deal with.
Here we go again. Genes having multiple older biological brothers, exposing the baby with antibodies during pregnancy, blah blah blah. I seriously don't get us why people constantly say that it's a choice when time and time again it has been proven wrong over and over again.
And yes, there are times when someone can choose to be gay, bi, or any other type of sexuality, but we don't really think that those people exist in the majority. And besides, if someone chose to be gay on their own free will, why would they do so when they know the torment and bullying and harassment that homosexuals face regularly?
If you dealing with the same sex, that's because that's what you want to do. You don't have to do it. So I'm not making this video out of experience. It's not coming from experience. What I'm speaking on is because I'm not gay or bi. I'm straight. I like the pipe. And that's all I'm going to take is the pipe and the tongue coming from a man. Not no damn chick. It would have to be man shit. Not no motherfucking girl. Not no female. Not no bull dyke or bull dagger, whatever the fuck you call it. I ain't into that. I'm only into the men.
You prefer males over females and you identify as straight. Nice to know. Now, what the fuck is your point?
So like I said, I cannot speak from experience when it comes to this type of stuff. I can only speak from my opinion. You know, and it seems like, to me, it seems like somebody that is that into the same sex, it's going to be difficult for them to just stay committed to the opposite sex. A bisexual person, or they going to want it all. That's how I feel about bi people. I ain't talking about just the women or just the men. Bi people, period. You make that choice to be bisexual, I feel like you're being greedy.
Oh look, MCR, another myth. Bisexuals are greedy.
Cammy, should we get a bisexual myths bingo card and play along?
Good idea, MTR, but back on topic, bisexuality is not about greed. It's about being able to feel attraction towards your own and the opposite gender. Again, I didn't choose this. I was born with this manner of sexual attraction, and to be honest, I don't give a fuck about your gender. If you're a nice guy or girl, then I'm fucking you, whether you have a vajayjay or a penis.
I feel like it's greed and you just want to fuck with everything. Why not make a choice in just one specific sex that you want to deal with and just make it that? If you a chick and you want the pipe and you want some pussy, you greedy. If you a dude and you want pussy and dick and to take it in your ass, you fucking greedy.
But what about the chick who also wants it in the ass?
Yeah, what about their needs, you fucking misogynist?
Why you can't just choose one sex and deal with that? Why does it have to be everybody? I wouldn't even be surprised if a lot of, I'm not saying everybody, I'm saying a lot of bisexual people are into bestiality as well. Probably even tried to have sex with an animal.
Oh my god. That is the most funniest thing that I've heard about someone who's a bisexual.
Not only that, but it's also in the bingo card.
No, cut me off. I need a break. Phew. Okay. Can I just ask you as to why you actually think that bisexuals are into bestiality? Do you have any proof of that happening at all? No? Then how about you set your straight ass back that?
Not everybody. Once again, because you know I got to put that shit out there. Y'all gets on me about that in these comments. You can't say that about everybody. You can't put everybody in the same category. But that's not what I'm doing. I said a lot of people. I didn't say all.
So not all people, just most? Got it.
My thoughts is that when you're in a relationship with somebody and you're bisexual, but the relationship is with the opposite sex, you still probably gonna fuck around and get that urge to fuck with the same sex. Unless you all have some type of an agreement where you're just gonna be nasty and you're gonna do a threesome from time to time, menage a trois, whatever you call that shit.
Well, let me tell you something, sister.
It's okay when it's in a three-way. It's not gay when it's in a three-way.
Unless you have that type of unethical and unhealthy arrangement or agreement, then I can't see how it's going. I don't see how it's going to work out. You're not going to be faithful to that for the most part.
Although that we're not guaranteeing that everyone would fit towards being in an open relationship, there can be some times where having an open relationship can work for some people and can still have a healthy relationship towards their partners.
Everybody's situation is different, and I'm not trying to categorize other people's shit with my shit and what I know, but every story of people that I know personally that ended up having those menage a trois and shit and incorporating a third person into the bedroom and this and that usually ended up having major problems down the line.
At this point, it kind of feels like you're changing the topic from bisexuals to how bad threesomes are. I mean, I know those two topics are kind of in the same general area, but it felt like as if you didn't mention as to what sex there are when it comes to people having a threesome. I mean, some of the problems with having an open relationship aren't generally geared towards bisexual people and could be someone who's either gay or straight.
In a relationship. You know why?
Whoever brought in their R2-D2 in the video, can you please have it shut the fuck up?
Because you're not supposed to be incorporating a third party anyway. Somebody gonna end up liking somebody more out of those threesomes, or three people coming together. It's somebody's gonna fuck around and be more into the other person than they are into the other person. You got two girls and a guy. That guy is gonna take to one of those women a little bit more sexually than the other. And then it's gonna fuck around, be some jealousy, then it'll be some arguments, and all of this bullshit has come in between your relationship, or it'd just be a mess.
Yeah, that doesn't really help your case, as you didn't use a bisexual threesome as an example and you used a straight threesome instead.
Hell, you didn't bring in any actual statistics about whether or not bisexual people are more than likely going to be doing this than those who are straight or gay. For those reasons, your whole argument seems really weak.
Good job, you get a star sticker. Now go do some actual research about bisexuals before you decide to rant on them, please.
Threesomes, I've never experienced, but it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that in a situation like that, somebody is going to fuck around and be more into the other person than the other person, and then it's going to cause problems in the relationship. So 3 people should never even be incorporated. There should only be 2. And then being bisexual, dealing with a straight person, like I said, overall, it's just not going to work out no way.
Whoa. Well, hello there, bisexuality topic. I've missed you after talking about the topic of having threesomes are wrong. You look older than the last time you were here.
It happens. Because I'm sure a bisexual chick is not just going to want to get the dick all the time. She's going to want some of the same of what she's got too. Which I've never understood because that's never been my thing. But same with a man. He going to want to get piped. He going to want that shit in his butt. Ugh.
You know, when you talk about gay anal, you shudder. Seems to me that you don't like anal. It's okay. I prefer sword fighting over getting pumped in my arse. Did I say that out loud?
Why, yes. And I actually recorded that too.
I prefer sword fighting over getting pumped in my arse. God damn it, MTR. You and your obsession of recording people saying hypersexual things.
And since I'm a capitalist, according to Kaiser Fiddlesticks, I'm going to sell this on eBay.
Fuck!
Nasty, but that's what he gonna want. Or he gonna want to give it to a man. And that's another thing. You having sex with a man, somebody you sleeping with on a regular. I'm talking to the ladies right now. And that man wants to fuck you in your ass more than he wants to fuck you in your pussy. That's suspect. That man is probably gay or bi.
Like, oh my god, she's like talking about me right now.
Get out of my co-op, Valley girl!
Yeah, you straight cis scums! Gosh!
Well then. Well, you two are not invited to the cool kids table.
Yeah, have fun with that. Anyway, how exactly is someone preferring anal sex over vaginal sex a telltale sign that they might be bisexual or gay? I mean, someone who is straight can prefer butts over pussy, not just bisexuals.
But just ain't telling you about it. Because in a lot of cases, a lot of women don't really like to fuck with men that are gay or bi. They don't like to do that because, I mean, you have some women that do, but for the most part, and I do emphasize the word most, they don't want to do that.
With the gay people, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. The women who do respect their sexual orientation would know and respect that they can't have sex with a guy who is gay. So it kinda sounds like you're stating the obvious on this point.
Me personally, I can't do that. I'm sorry. I need a manly man. I need somebody that's got that show enough shit when they come to masculinity. I don't want no feminine ass nigga.
Implying that all gays are really feminine or that all straight men are not metrosexuals.
Yeah, you almost forgot about those who are metrosexual, huh? A metrosexual is a young, urban, heterosexual male with liberal political views, an interest in fashion, and a refined sense of taste. So why is there really this whole stereotype of how all straight men have to be manly men and all gay guys are feminine?
Put these views out on Facebook, and not very many people. Well, it was half and half. Some people agreed with me, some people didn't. They said, "Oh well, cheating is a choice." It is a choice, but cheating can also be somebody's weakness, and a lot of people are susceptible to becoming weak to the temptation of cheating. So unless you are really strong-minded motherfucker, if you're bi, that's something that is going to be hard for you to do.
But how is that really something that can be accounted for when it comes towards all bisexuals? I mean, there's really no proof that bisexuals are more prone to cheating than anyone else. I mean, let's say that your ex-boyfriend cheats on you and he's straight. The general rule is that you don't swear off all straight or gay people. You swear off to that person and only that person because, well, they're idiots.
Also, for the next minute and a half, she changes the topic of the video yet again to people in general that cheat on their partners. Not bisexuals though, because that would actually be relevant. You know, when you're gonna do a video like this, at least make some preparations beforehand. It's pretty clear that you didn't due to how many times you jumped topics throughout the video.
Hit me up with your thoughts, your comments. Tell me what you feel about this video.
When there's about 3.5 minutes left until the end of the actual video. GG!
I think that a lot of people is not going to be too happy about my views on this, but that's just how I feel. I just don't think that too many bisexual people are going to be faithful to whoever they're dealing with of the opposite sex.
Because it's not like Asafree actually heard about these arguments before throughout the entire video. Nope, this is 100% new stuff that you're telling us, and this isn't a way to try and pad out the entire video.
Yeah, no. She continues reiterating the exact same points that we've all heard of before, until the video ends. And because of that, we're ending the video here.
But before we do, I love how you include absolutely no disclaimer telling people not to bully this person, nor a link to the original video, because getting links are hard.
Okay, let's play devil's advocate here and ignore the fact that within the video she provided the title of the video that she's commentating on and a person in question so that people can look the information up, which is even more prevalent within your overall screenshot that you've given us. She could have not left the link of the video in question just so that she doesn't have to worry about the people attacking the user in question. And even then, there's a huge issue that you've made here, and it's the fact that you've made this sound like as if it's a requirement that the CC needs to do. Pro tip, Nebula? There's no rules to make within the CC. Sure, there are guidelines, but even then, I've been noticing that we've been kinda distanced that just a little bit, myself included.
It's me again, what's up? And today, I'll be doing a commentary of Evolutions. So, let's begin.
Wow, that's some pretty bad reverb right there. Are we in a cave now?
Hello? Where am I? Why do I get into these kinds of predicaments? How the hell did I manage to get inside of a cave? You over there, can you help me get out of here?
Seriously, get an external mic. There are ones that cost under $20. And are you recording your screen? Don't ever do that. It's seriously
Wait, stop the video. That was really it with the mic issue? What? How exactly did you know that this could solve the issue of her echo? This is basically the case of not only not elaborating just a little bit, but also assuming stuff. Because I could say that the speaker could have played what she said to the point where, how the hell did I get back here again? Basically, what I'm saying is that unless you know for certain that this would fix the issue, don't say that it actually is the end all be all.
Evolutions. More like dum-dum-lutions. Oh my god. These characters suck. These characters are a ripoff of Pokemon, which are way better.
Hey, don't be rude, let him finish.
Keep this part in mind because there's something that I'll bring up about what he said.
These characters are about 9 evolutions and they like to go on failure adventures together.
They don't go on failure adventures, like they're Pokemon you evolve from Eevee. Via different methods.
Evie is a crybaby. Glaceon asks for ice too much. Sylveon always wears her stupid bow and she does not take it off.
There's a reason to why Sylveon always wears a bow. It's hence why she's a fairy type.
Leafeon is a ripoff of Leafy from BFDI.
Pokemon existed before BFDI?
No offense, but a lot of your points seem to be of the, no fucking shit variety. And that's saying something considering you completely missed the first point. Also, interrupting points. Interrupting points.
Oh, I'm sorry, did I accidentally interrupted your point about Kanya interrupting Michael's point? Sorry, but I was apparently too retarded here because I needed to process what you previously just said. Like, okay, but how is in the no fucking shit category of her stating what she said? How can she fix this issue? You just entered in here to state what the issue was without actually explaining maybe on how to fix it or not elaborating as to how it's bad. Also, remember his
interrupting points
point here as yet again, this is gonna come up later.
Umbron likes to date people with the same gender. Flaren is a ripoff of Fiery from BFDI.
Again? BFDI? Oh.
Repeating yourself, goddammit.
Dude, this is like the second time that she repeated herself about how the evolutions are the ripoff to the Battle of the Dream Island series. Yeah, repeating your points isn't all that great within the commentary, but considering the fact that this is the second time around, I could at least kinda give her a little bit of some slack here. So I think that you should really go ahead and calm down. Also, if you're really that desperate of people not repeating themselves throughout the entire commentary, then look, I'm not saying that you're wrong, but maybe you should take your own advice.
Hey, don't be rude, let him finish. Interrupting points. Interrupting points. Interrupting points.
Jolteon always shot people to death. Vaporon always pours water on people's belongings. And Espion cries just as much as Evie.
They're not crybabies, they're not failures.
Pointless interjection.
Actually, this point could have been a lot better than it originally was, because that technically wasn't a pointless interjection. All Kanye fan was doing was trying to debunk a claim saying that they aren't crybabies and failures, because Michael here stated that one of them was a crybaby. Not really debunking your point here, but what she failed to realize here was that could have been multiple Pokemon of the same species who could have the personality of them being crybabies. But since we're talking about generality here, what she could do better was to elaborate on her point. There! I went ahead and did the point against Kanye fan for you. And that'll be $5.
Well, anyways, that's it for this commentary. Gotta go now and peace out.
No, wait, what are you doing? You're leaving to... Come on, this isn't that hard to fix.
Fans are suffering because of your lack of competence.
Oh, hey there! I can do a demonic voice too! Can we be stepbrothers?
Good lord, this mess is over. It's only 3 minutes long, but it felt like an eternity. Final thoughts are just 2 words. Script and edit.
That's 3 words. Why do you do this to me? Why do you...
Welcome to episode 3 of SeckBoi's commentaries. Now, I went through Justin Bieber fanfucks. People who think they are cool. Now, for something new. A weeaboo. Now, a weeaboo is an American teenager or young adult who wishes they were Japanese.
Actually, a weeaboo doesn't mean that they can be American or a teenager / young adult. They can be a Canadian or a British person or even someone who could be in their 40s. Are there less of these non-American / oldie weeaboos? Yes, but that doesn't mean that they're not out there.
Today, my target is one, but doesn't even know that she's a weeaboo. Her name is MagicalPockyUsagi, or in English, Witchcrafted Candy Stick Rabbit. Enjoy.
Actually, before we continue, I do want to address something. The original video that you commentated on is, 7 years old? Dude, here's a tip for you. Don't do a commentary that's 7 years old. Main reason why? Good commentaries are when you use a video that's more relevant. Some people have their own degrees on how old the video should be, but I, for one, will only do videos that are less than 4 months old, though less than 6 months at the very latest. You commentating on a 7-year-old brings nothing new to the table to criticize about. And this isn't just in this video, it's actually in all of your videos. The second commentary that you did was around 6 years old, and the first one was at around 5. Your fourth video, or at least I assume, is at around 4 years old, and your fifth video or actually getting better by doing a commentary on a video from August of 2014. Or at least that's what you've said, but try to find something that's more relevant. Even then, you didn't really make any interjections at all. You only made one, and even then you stated that, oh, just skip the video if you didn't really like this commentary at all. Or if you just want to skip this commentary. I bet $10 saying that he'll just ignore me and do either Salmon Classic Sonic fan or Christian YouTubers / the other clones of the YouTubers. Wait, did I just give him suggestions? God damn it.
Konbanwa! What? I don't understand.
Haven't your parents / guardians taught you that you shouldn't interrupt people? Let her finish.
That means good evening.
Now I want you to apologize. You didn't apologize, so I want you to sit in the goddamn corner!
Nihongo wakarimasu ka? Can you understand Japanese?
No, I can't. That is why you need to use English subtitles.
Alright, I'll give you points for actually wanting to read something, but the thing is, she'll just say what the translation will be when she's done talking, so you need to hold your horses.
It's okay if you can't. I'll be speaking English too. Ne?
Just use English subtitles, please.
Okay, now I'm starting to think that you're impatient. In fact, I can see your horses have escaped the farm and ran off to the sunset. You better catch them while you still can.
But first, let me introduce myself.
What the fuck is going on here?
That's called a montage, silly. Or really an introduction. Shouldn't you notice considering that you had one yourself, especially in this commentary? Now, you did correct it yourself later on in the video when you stated this.
Oh, thank goodness the intro is over. This is one of the longest and most pointless intros I have ever seen.
So I'm just gonna assume that it was a joke back there, which, honestly, ultimately flopped out of water and died by suffocation.
That won't be useful in America. Or Britain.
Actually, she can just send them to either the bank, the airport, or the currency business exchange, though the CBE should be the last resort here in the US, and I'm pretty sure that either one of these can be applied in Britain as well, so technically it's not all useless. Also, maybe she doesn't want to exchange it for US dollars or any other currency in the world and use it as a keepsake.
Poor dog.
Okay, if you're going to keep using those one-liners, I'm not going to take you seriously.
A Japanese lesson or a fashion show.
Wait, what the hell? Why is this in here? Oh, that's your, skip screen, huh. Wasn't this a lovely image? By the way, this is the only time you've said that you're about to skip, yet you've used the skip screen 4 times and you didn't have the word skip in 3 of them. This is more of a nitpick, but at least provide the words skip every time that you're skipping so that we don't have to be confused later on in your video. Also, it would be nice as to why you're skipping anyways, not because of the fact that you're annoyed as hell.
I'm starting to think she's a narcissist.
Insults are fun, aren't they? But seriously, I've noticed that within your commentaries, you're using more insults on the people that you're commentating on than actual criticism. This is considered to be a main problem. What a commentator does is that they actually criticize something and state the flaws on what somebody is doing / saying, like what I'm doing to you right now. You, on the other hand, at most of the times, are throwing insults to who you're commentating on, and that's not on what commentating is about. Now, I may not be right about this. Maybe you can actually use insults. Just use more criticisms than insults. That way you'll be a better, credible commentator.
Watashi wa Akemi desu. Dozo yoroshiku. That means, hi, I'm Akemi. Nice to meet you for the first time.
I hope it's also the last time I see you.
As you can see, I'm Japanese.
I can't see that. Look a little white to be Japanese.
I'm sorry, but when it's your turn to talk, don't change your pictures too much, like every 1 to 2 seconds, when you're trying to make a point. Just seems like really bad editing, and it feels like as if I'm actually watching a slideshow than your commentary. Well, so while I'm stopping here and commenting on your editing, I might as well bring something up that MDXRR have stated in her commentary on you. You need to search up some more pictures of your avatar. Don't just think that the pictures that you have is all you need. In fact, I've roughly counted and you've used around 10 pictures of your avatar. You need to stock up on your images. I would suggest getting around 25 to 30 more pictures of Heavy from Team Fortress 2.
Therefore, I own lots of many Japanese things.
That doesn't make you Japanese. You either have to be born in Japan or have citizenship of Japan to be Japanese. Like this bloke. He was Welsh, but he became Japanese because of acquired citizenship.
Well, I can give you credit for using an actual criticism and providing proof. The proof, coincidentally, is the problem. You didn't state his name, just where he was from and that he gained citizenship from Japan. As far as I know, I can imagine that this is just some random dude on the internet and not who you're actually describing. Also, this isn't just really a requirement, but it would be nice if you were to give out actual citations on where you get your information from.
Nihon ga daisuki.
I wish you would die.
The reason why I'm
Wait, Pocky, hang on. SeckBoi, don't cut yourself out. In fact, there are times in which case I don't know as to what you said. Not in this commentary, but in many of your other commentaries. Your audience would not like it if you cut yourself out in the middle of your point in mid-sentence.
The reason why I'm on YouTube, which is why you're probably wondering, but the reason why I'm on YouTube is because, well, I see a lot of weeaboos.
Then stop looking at the webcam.
Because I'm totally not. I'm true Japanese. But anyways.
No, you are not. You either have to be born in Japan or have Japanese citizenship.
Also, when you're commentating, you shouldn't repeat your points throughout the video. You may say it twice if you need to, but only one time is absolutely necessary. That way the video doesn't drag on.
They're not even Japanese. So why would they know anything? They don't. That's why I'm here. To save your soul. Okay? Because I'm amazing like that. Because I am Japanese.
Uh-huh. Go on. I'm listening. Well, that is a very interesting point, and I full-heartedly agree with you. Look, if you're going to need me, then I'll just take a nap.
You are...
Oh my god, the British are coming! I'm sorry, you've stated something? Look, whenever you're injecting, please edit when you start your words out, and then stop when you're done talking. That way the interjection will run smoothly. In fact, I also suggest you actually watch your videos before you publish it. I swear, I'm now starting to believe that you don't really care about how you edit your videos, because it shows a lot within your own commentaries.
I have a boyfriend in Japan. His name is Kyu-woo.
You have a boyfriend? What was he thinking? I feel sorry for him. Oh, and Kyu isn't a real Japanese name. This is just a poster you're talking about.
I can suspect that you're using sarcasm in that first part, so I think that you're saying she doesn't have a boyfriend from Japan. Do you have any actual evidence to prove that she doesn't have a boyfriend from Japan, or at least a boyfriend at all? No? Then you don't really have a say in this argument. Alright, for this next section, I'm not going to be showing you this part due to time, but what I want you to do is to click on this annotation on the video for all of you to see my main point. For those of you who are lazy, I honestly don't know as to what to think about that, but I'll tell you anyways. He used this picture of a skip screen, and he didn't change the video until 29 seconds later. 29 seconds. And how much of a section of the video was skipped? 12 seconds. Didn't realize that you can fuck up an entire skip screen like that. SeckBoi, when you use a skip screen, it should be less than 10 seconds. However, with a still skip screen like yours, it should be at around 5, not 29 seconds. And here's another tip. If the skip screen is at around 5 seconds and you've only skipped 1 second off, don't skip.
Sorry, I have an American accent, okay? I was born in the wrong body. I'm really offended. I should just...
I thought this video was over.
I honestly expected that you're going to be doing a fake flip out. Lame joke is lame.
But you just seem to waste the ending with you being even more racist.
Now correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm not too sure if disliking your own skin color means that you're a racist. Just because she doesn't like being a Caucasian doesn't mean that she hates other white people. In fact, racism is a belief that a race is primarily determinate of human traits and capabilities, and those racial differences produce an inherited superiority of a particular race. Unless if you can specifically prove to me that she's telling everyone that Japanese people are the only superior race and that any other races out there are idiotic and dumb, then disliking her own body color doesn't really make her a racist at all.
Oh, and not to mention, I saw that when you're like, are you still? And then it just cut off. You should be a decent video editor. Maybe buy some kind of video editing technique. You were able to manage to edit all those other stuff together, so you could edit out that "are you still?" moment at the end.
Oh yeah, like you're the one who should actually talk. Anyways, he summed up his final thoughts in the video and said that he'll see you all on next Thursday, and then he played his outro. In order to explain as to what today's commentary is going to be about, let's go ahead and talk about who's going to be involved within the video. First up, we have T-Bit192. All that you need to know about him is that Leafy is here to do a reaction commentary on one of his videos, and T-Bit made a response video to Leafy about the subject. Then we have Monster Drink Fan 605. Who is actually Lyric Shooter, which I'll call him that throughout the video. Basically, he was an overdone topic within the CC, and he came back from, I want to say, a year-long hiatus and decided to make more commentaries again. Then we have Midnight Phantom, who decided to make a commentary on that. Yes, the same Midnight Phantom who was a bandwagon and is now considered to be a dead horse, mainly because of how he rejects all of the criticisms that the CC gives him. However, in a surprising twist of events, he actually started doing commentaries not too long ago, but I haven't watched all of them to give my overall opinion. Though, judging from his first part on Lyric Shooter alone, I'll know when he makes a decent point when pigs start to fly. Finally, we head towards our overall subject of today's video, who goes by the username of Dr. Gordon. Dr. Gordon did his first commentary on Midnight Phantom's first out of the three-parter commentary. However, instead of using his actual voice to convey his thoughts on the subject matter at hand, he uses text for his interjections on Midnight Phantom, in which case I need to make a point right now. People do discourage those who use this text for the commentaries for a variety of reasons. The first part being that people will typically do things while playing someone's video within the background, and to have text display in the video instead of using some kind of voice discourage people to do that, even if you use rock music for your interjections. Then there's also the part that most of the jokes won't work that much, considering that you need to have expressions, emotings, or what have you, and at times I couldn't tell if what you said was supposed to be a joke or not. There might be some other issues within text commentaries, but I personally think that these are the major problems within text commentaries. So because of this, I'm gonna have to take away your music privileges that you use throughout the video, which, by the way, the quality of it is absolute shit. Don't believe me? Take a listen. Instead, we will have Boonslayer read your interjections, and in return, he'll receive $7.
And you're sure that you're gonna pay me at the end of the video?
Yeah, I'll pay you at the end, sure. Anyways, Dr. Gordon will be the third degree for the video. Then there's more! So, with all of that being said, let's take a look.
Hello YouTube, this is Midnight Phantom here. Today I'm going to be tearing into somebody that's been on my radar for a long time now. Not really because of me, but because my fans have been telling me all about him.
46 subscribers, that sounds like a bigger fan base.
First of all, I gotta say this now. When I first saw not only the thumbnail of the video, but also the first few seconds of the video without you introducing yourselves or whatnot, I actually thought that this channel that you're currently in was a secondary channel for Midnight Phantom. And really, if you don't introduce yourselves to everyone and explain as to who you're doing the commentary on, then you're gonna confuse your audience. Also, just because it's not a big fan base, that doesn't mean that you can still have fan. I mean, there might have been people who haven't subscribed to Midnight Phantom yet and would still consider to be a fan of his content, or the fact that those 46 people who subscribe to him are actually a fan of his videos. And finally, since when does the size of a fan base have anything to do with the video, especially when it was only a couple of people suggesting Midnight Phantom to do a video on someone?
That person is of course Monster Drink Fan 605. He made a commentary on me that I never responded to, mainly due to the video that he responded to. being disowned by yours truly.
Sounds like it took you 1.5 years to respond to him. Good comeback.
Sorry for being an extremely nitpicky bitch here, but what's up with the spelling and grammatical mistakes? I mean, 1.5 years instead of 1.5 years. It should have been an instead of in, and comeback being misspelled. And for anyone who's going to say, oh, but he might have not learned English properly, or why should this really matter? For the first part of my defense, he corrected himself with an annotation replacing here to year, but it questions me as to whether or not he even checked the video before making it public. In fact, if you are going to be doing text within your commentaries, why not put it in a Word document to check some of the errors and then copy-paste it into your editor? For the second part, well, just wait a few more points. He's gonna gripe to Midnight Phantom about his grammar soon enough. Also, what was really the point of your entire interjection? Like, I really don't get it. Is it bad to wait to make another video 1.5 years later or something? If so, then why? You don't really explain shit to me. If this was a joke, then I honestly don't really even know at this point. Even if it was a joke, I just personally felt like as if it was an unnecessary pot shot, which also doesn't really make sense considering the nature of why it's so bad to wait for 1.5 years or whatnot. Oh, and spoils! He may have done this again by calling him a hypocrite within the next point that he makes. Okay then.
Today, we're going to be taking a look at his commentary of T-Bitten192. And right off the bat, in the title of his commentary, he uses a fat joke that was stolen from A. Salieri's review of Pissed Off Angry Gamer's Nintendo GameCube review.
Wow, he ripped off something. Wowee, I never know he rips off of stuff. Where's your proof? I want to know. BTW. You don't have proof that he does unless you interrogated him. Or did some research.
Did some research, huh? You wanna know something interesting? He provides some proof within the video. Something in which case they actually cut it out.
Life is like a box of chocolates. They're delicious and I want to eat all of them!
And you want to know what's interesting at this point here? It's the fact that you miss a good point to make. As, to be fair, Lyric Shooter was referring to the quote from the movie Forrest Gump, where the main character would say, "My mama always said, life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get." Now someone might say to me, but isn't that what Dr. Gordon was saying? Well, no. His major point was about whether or not Midnight Phantom does have any proof, in which case he does, but it's just the wrong kind, as well as how it's not supposed to be a fat joke to T-Bitten. If it wasn't his point, then that's still kind of his fault, as he could have worded himself better.
Hey, what's going on, you guys? This is Monster Drink Fan 605 here, back with another commentary. Now, I'm sorry if it's been a while since I have done a commentary, but I've been hanging out with my friends a lot this year, and it's probably been like 1 year or 2 years since I have made a commentary. I think it's actually been 1 year, I think.
And one of the first things that you'll notice is that he tends to ramble on. A lot.
Boo-hoo, cry me a river. Rambling on. I don't really think that's against the law. You never made the rule book of America.
Well, yeah, it's not in the rule book of America, nor the fact that he even made it. But what Midnight Phantom was doing was that he was suggesting to Lyric Shooter that he shouldn't ramble on and on about something that isn't really all that important within his intro. And while I didn't like the way that Midnight Phantom actually interjected, I mean, personally, I would have interjected later on, he does actually have a somewhat decent point. Shocking, I know. Is this the part where pigs are starting to fly? There are some parts of Lyric Shooter's intro that really could have been either shortened down or be left out altogether, which includes the part that I'll play next, maybe the part where he explains who Leafeus here was, and to me personally, how he came across the material.
My last commentary was last year's, because last year I did do a commentary on one guy which kind of sucked though, and I gotta admit, I agree, the commentary does kind of suck though, but I don't think this one might.
Man, I'm getting fucking bored, and I can only imagine what the audience feels like, your audience and my audience. So for my audience's convenience, I'm just gonna skip all of your, as in Monster Drink fans, rambling.
Isn't that the pop calling the kettle black? Throughout this entire, it's just him complaining in the video and not even giving good criticism, but only once he does. And I will get to that later, folks. You're saying you're getting bored of this video, considering it's probably just a 9.5 of you complaining.
Even though for the fact that he's actually trying to debunk someone's points and or give out criticism. I mean, some of these aren't really good ones, I'll give you that, but you can't really deny for the fact that he's trying, I guess. Also, couldn't one argue for the fact that in some sort of way, he has the right to complain at stuff, as in, he's expressing dissatisfaction or annoyance about an event? There's a difference about complaining about something the right way, and then complaining about something the wrong way. And some of his complaining is stuff that actually seems to make sense, like Lyric Shooter's rambling, for example.
What's going on, guys? Steven192 here, back again, another vignette. I'm fucking angry today.
Why? It's because you didn't get your extra small condoms?
Wow. Wow. You're really gonna start with a cheap shot. And not even a good one. Wow.
Hey, maybe he wasn't trying to be funny. Sarcasm doesn't really have to be funny. Maybe he's just making a big giant ass of himself.
You know, I'm not really sure as to whether or not if you even get this point. You know what? Hold my hand. Let me help you out of the maze. Midnight Phantom was saying that the pot shot that Lyric Shooter made wasn't necessary, hence how he said, you're really gonna start with a cheap shot, suggesting that, well, it wasn't necessary. He follows it up with how it wasn't even a good one to begin with, which was completely separate from the making of the cheap shot itself. Also, the maybe he wasn't trying to be funny comment? Yeah, no, I'm not buying it. I mean, it was clear that Lyric Shooter did laugh at the end, which could suggest that he was trying to make a funny cheap shot against T-Bitten. Even then, just the way that he said it sounded like as if he was trying to get his audience to laugh at the funny insult that would totally get me internet famous. So I highly doubt for the fact that he was trying to be serious. And then there's actually this part that Midnight Phantom actually skipped over.
Sarcasm is anger's ugly cousin. From now on, unacceptable.
So, couldn't that be something in which case that he was trying to make a joke but wanted to note for the fact that it was sarcasm? Even if it was serious, this brings back the argument of, why is the pot shot needed within the first place? Wait, hold up. The comment about maybe he was making a big giant ass of himself. If that was on T-Bin 192, then how does that really justify your point? I mean, it was just the beginning of T-Bitten's video, so I wouldn't really see as to how it would really be needed here. Hell, you didn't really explain as to why he was making a big giant ass of himself. But if it's on Lyric Shooter, then... Did you not just realize that you're technically agreeing with
Midnight Phantom here?
I mean, for you to point out that Lyric Shooter is trying to make a big giant ass of himself is you repeating the point that Midnight Phantom wanted to say, right? I mean, someone accidentally agreeing with Midnight Phantom. And a somewhat decent point at that. Oh no. This really cannot be happening. I really should have kept my mouth shut at times. Because there seems to be a flying pig on the loose!
First of all, he doesn't stutter that much throughout the entire video. In fact, this is one of the few parts where he actually does it, a lot. Secondly, worser, are you fucking kidding me? You're going to critique someone's grammar while at the same time mistaking suffixes on the level that a first grader would? Wow, you really are a fucking hypocrite. This is worse as Billy Madison. At least he's doing it in earnest. You can tell he's playing a character. You aren't intentionally fucking up your grammar as badly as you do.
Well, let's take a look at your grammar and your username, Midnight Phantom. Yeah, if you're trying to be cool with it, you're failing miserably.
Oh, I'm sorry, but is there a guideline about trying to have perfect grammar about someone's usernames?
Like, I'm sorry, but this is probably some grade A bullshit here. Especially since why does usernames have to be so important about making things professionally as possible? Till they're here, nitpicking at its finest.
BTW. He wasn't hating on the movie character, he is hating how he's compared to him, but with a completely different understanding, so chill.
Wait, is there something in which case I'm not really getting at right now? I mean, what does this have to do with anything?
Oh, well, I mean, I am mad, but I'm not, I don't know if he means cry, what kind of mad guy, you know what I mean?
Okay, one thing, buddy, please lose the gibberish, okay, cause My ears are now starting to hurt right now. You're just as worse as Billy Madison.
Just as worse as Billy Madison. At least he's doing it in earnest. You can tell he's playing a character.
Oh. Huh. I guess you actually made some decent point, I guess. But I have a question. Why the fuck didn't you give me any context? In fact, better question, why did you even cut Lyric Shooter's part out? Actually, wait, no. I've noticed something during the editing phase of the commentary, but no, that point wasn't even decent to begin with. Midnight Phantom never said anything about how Lyric Shooter was hating on the character, even with some of the stuff that you cut it out. Hell, all Midnight Phantom was doing was to state that Lyric Shooter had a major flaw towards fucking up his grammar. Though, granted, Lyric Shooter was mainly talking about stuttering, and in some way, Lyric Shooter is kinda the one to talk, but never mind about that. My point is that you, Dr. Gordon, are not even debunking Phantom's point, and I'm questioning as to whether or not you even have a PhD.
This is a volcano!
Okay. I said this once.
Oh boy. I can tell. I can tell that since the last thing he said was about politics, and he's a Donald Trump supporter, and since you're critical of him, that you're about to make yourself look really, really fucking stupid. Brace yourself, audience.
I'm sorry to say this, but you can do so much better than doing the same. Like you complaining.
Wait, what? I don't even understand what your point here is about. That Midnight Phantom was complaining? Complaining about what? I mean, it sounds like you're getting onto Phantom for interjecting with an insult that has nothing to do with what's being said, by interjecting with an insult that has nothing to do with what's being said.
Wow, I'm actually genuinely impressed because, yeah, generally people like you make fools of themselves in moments like this. But considering that the theme of this video appears to be very political, I would not say that just...
What about the video of yours that got commentated on by him that was terrible, like he said in the video? The video that he commentated on you before when you flipped out is because someone posted a video about you or copied your video. Isn't that kind of making a fool out of yourself? Yeah. That is a sign that hypocrisy is rising from the sewers, but it still doesn't change the fact that you done it.
Oh, I'm so terribly sorry, but how does calling someone out on making a fool of themselves have anything to do with this comment about how he's impressed that Lyric Shooter didn't make a fool of himself just yet when it comes towards politics? This point here is entirely unneeded because of how you're just trying to call someone out when, at this point, it doesn't need to be. It's like saying how I like candy, but then someone randomly accused me of stealing the candy from a baby earlier. Even though that I technically did. Another thing about it too was the fact that he even said it within the video itself, that he disowns the video that he made. So I'm having a hard time when you calling him out for stuff that he actually regrets making.
Are you sure about that, buddies? Because I heard some...
Oh boy, he had to pause in the middle of his ad hominem attack. This is gonna be very, very fucking bad.
Kid who actually just, reported that he was molested by some guy that stole his balloon. I think that was you, buddy, so I think you should check the FBI most wanted list.
Wait. Hold up for a second. Should I? I mean, should I make the argument that you missed an easy point to make? I mean, that generic facepalm clip that Midnight Phantom made was generic as fuck. You didn't really catch on to that? No? Okay then. I guess we should continue on then. I worry about you sometimes.
Did you really just fucking say that? Like, there was no punchline, that was just fucking awful. That was like the cheap shot equivalent to sharding on stage in front of a large audience. It was disgusting, awkward, and saying that it was unneeded is a severe understatement.
Not upset about the criticism that he just gave. I am upset that he repeats it throughout the video.
Is this seriously the noise you make whenever you fuck the neighbor's cat?
Is this video seriously going to be nothing but a bunch of cheap shots?
See?
Yeah, I want you guys to remember this point, because you know how the saying goes. It's gonna bite him in the head. I think that's how the saying goes.
Isn't that supposed to be the ass, though?
Ew, no! Why would people want to eat asses? That's just... No! That's just... disgusting, okay? Before I continue on, I'm going to be playing a small part of the 0 degree within the commentary because Midnight Phantom left it out, and it's somewhat important within the context of the next 2 points.
I'm gonna have an aneurysm.
Angerism? What the hell is an angerism? You could probably say toxic anger syndrome, or you can just
I am starting to get that he kinda makes his argument bad when he just played that twice. It kinda ruined the whole entire video. Sorry for the spoilers.
Yeah, because someone who has shitty jokes or shitty ways of making / telling jokes means that someone will always make shitty points. I mean, am I right, Air Tsunami?
Your jokes sound like they came from a joke book in a library's closet. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if your faggotry came from there too. Honestly, you should probably head back into that closet now, you monotone birdman.
I'm gonna suddenly end the video here and drink a bottle of bleach. Tastes like lemon juice. Someone's been sabotaging my bleach.
Oh my god, did you really just say that? No. T-Bitten meant exactly what he said. Aneurysm, as in the bloating of your arteries. The expressed form that he used it in is generally used to express extreme anger or frustration. He did not say angerism, he said aneurysm, as in A-N-E-U-R-Y-S-M, aneurysm. It is a medical phenomena, I guess, that
I don't
can
know where
cause
you got
you to die.
angerism.
But hey, I give Propso for explaining that he made a mistake.
Can you, I don't know, elaborate that point to me a bit? Because I don't know as to what you mean by that. Like, if it was with Lyric Shooter saying that he made a mistake, then where did he say that? If it was with Midnight Phantom and taking a pot shot against him, then I don't get it. Wait. Oh, it was about Dr. Gordon giving Propso to Midnight Phantom about Lyric Shooter making a mistake. If that's the case, then I must say pointless interjection is pointless.
Ow, my ears.
Ah, come on, you pansy. It wasn't that loud.
FYI in your argument, after when I rewatched the video, he actually did kinda hurt my ears. To be truly honest, your argument is just so fucked up.
Wait, what noise?
Wait.
Ow. That. Look, if you really wanted to provide some evidence against Midnight Phantom, then you could have at least gotten a clip of T-Bin screaming like a pansy so that you can try to have your audience follow along with the context of what's going on, and then they can agree with you. Yeah, Midnight Phantom was mainly guilty about cutting that part out as well as cutting most of T-Bin's video, and trust me when I say that he's not getting off the hook. But what you could have done was to bring the clip back in so that the audience can follow along, because without that final evidence, then they can't back up as to what you're saying. Also, I know for the fact that I'm not really debunking your point, but I didn't really find that to be that bad, nor did it hurt my ears. I mean, I usually have my master volume on my computer to be at 15, my speaker monitor being as high as it gets, my YouTube volume to be as high, and finally mirror and headphones. So you would expect me to... Wait. All three of you guys didn't even say as to whether or not your volumes were high or low enough and actually show me exact details of how you listen to it. I mean, yeah, each different pairs of ears can be different for everyone, but without really providing those pieces of information, then it just feels like as if all three of you guys are just arguing over something that's just completely subjective at this point. The worst part here was that you, Dr. Gordon, said that his argument is just so fucked up, when it was really just a matter of subjectivity.
Damn it, you're an ear raper. I'm reporting you to the ear rapist.
God, even when you're trying to be funny beyond really cheap shots, you come off as really, really fucking stupid.
Please referee to my beginning statement of this video.
Oh, let's see here. The beginning statement of the video, and that was, oh yeah, something to do with the size of Midnight Phantom's fan base. Wait, how the hell does that have to do with the Lyric Shooter's delivery of jokes again? Wait, you meant Midnight Phantom's video instead of yours? Honestly, given for the fact that it really wasn't near anything towards the beginning statement of Midnight Phantom's video, as in your video was in 2 minutes and 53 seconds of your own video, and 2 minutes and 42 seconds of Midnight Phantom's video, this point should have been please referee to the statement about cheap shots and whatnot. Also, if this point were to be the case, then isn't it ironic when you complain to Midnight Phantom about him repeating the points earlier within the video, but yet here you are repeating the same goddamn point that you've made earlier? Yeah, at first glance, this point was considered to be nitpicky on my end, but the thing was that he was using the overall "please refer to my previous point" trope without adding in anything else to that point, so it just felt like as if this point that he made was kinda pointless. And you know what, since I feel like I'm going to repeat my points and the fact that I couldn't find any more points to debunk, I'm just gonna end the video here. So, as obvious, my main issue was the fact that you didn't really provide evidence yourself to the audience that everyone would know as to what's going on. I mean, like I said, except for a couple of moments here and there, Midnight Phantom was guilty of having the 0 degree out for the commentary, but that doesn't mean that you should leave it out as well. If and when it does happen, then bring those back in so that people can follow along. And then there's the fact that you've done this commentary with only using text that has horrible grammar and spelling. Yeah, about that shit has gotta go. If you want to make commentaries, then I suggest that you should use an actual microphone so that you can deliver your jokes better than what you have. And don't worry about your voice being out there. I highly doubt that someone would figure you out with just your voice, and even if that was the case, then the chances of that are pretty much slim to none.